Welcome, dirty peasants, to Wartwood Gazette, the Amphibia podcast. This is episode 64, and we are covering Amphibia Season 2, Episode 13, Ivy on the Run and After the Rain. I'm your host, the Maticon, and joining me today is my co-host, Nick.
What's up, y'all?
Alright, news this week. So today, the day of this recording, Matt talked about a scene that he originally had in mind for the hardest thing before cutting it out. He wanted Bessie to talk in perfect English to Anne in her final goodbye, but that was cut out. And damn, I understand why they cut it, but
Yeah, it would have been the sweetest moment ever in the show, but also one of the most what the fuck moments because it's like it was never foreshadowed, but I don't know, you know what I mean? It's like the kind of thing where I just imagine the scene playing out in my head. Like Bessie leans over to Anne, says "I love you," and then Anne's like, "What?" Then she just winks at her, and then
this makes her like
like
normal, like Bradley D.
yeah,
Baker animal noise.
yeah, yeah. Like it's just I can just see the whole scene in my head. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's about it. And I guess we can go right into the episode. So, starting off with Ivy on the Run, which was written by Gloria Shen, storyboards by Alicia Rocha, Silver Paul, and directed by Joe Johnson. So, general thoughts on this episode. I enjoyed Ivy on the Run. It was a fun episode that focused on Ivy and her relationship with her mother, Felicia. I liked how Spriggs. Without getting too much into it, I really liked Spriggs' involvement with Ivy in this episode for certain reasons, even though it wasn't too prominent. And the side plot with Anne, Polly, and Wally, that was super fun. But yeah, that's just my general thoughts on Ivy on the Run. I had a couple I had an issue with it, but I'll get into that later. It's just a nitpick. But Nick, what are your thoughts on Ivy on the Run?
Yeah, for me, I mean, yeah, just like you, I like the episode. Yeah, I think that when Tubi started, it's sort of yeah, they made changes to the whole war. I mean, even so, we were in Wartwood, right? They made changes to the usual Wartwood formula, and one of those was just giving the other non-planter characters time to shine, right? And that was Ivy right here, and yeah, no, I thought it was pretty nice. I don't want to. I'm struggling for things to say. I'm not trying to call this episode shallow or anything, but yeah. Okay, listen. I mean, I'll admit, I like the Ivy bits. I like her development of Felicia. I like the Spivey moments, but I think for me, like the best part of this episode was and always will be Muay Thai Ann. I'm sorry, but that's just gold right there. Her and Polly and Wally just training and fighting in the woods. I'm sorry, but that's just that's peak. That was season 2 be peaking right before it got into all the crazy stuff.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Those moments were pretty great, which we'll get into soon. But uh, I guess we can go into the beginning of this episode where we get to see Ivy's room, and I like how she also has she has a map of Amphibia, and she's mapped out the spots that I think Sprig was going to as well. I guess it's the first time we get a proper look of the journey of how the planners actually traveled to Newtopia, and it sucks how inefficient it was. They basically had to go around the whole lily pad.
Yeah. Yeah, they literally had to go. Yeah, they basically had to go around their entire world just to get there. I didn't even like think about that. But yeah, totally right. But yeah, I don't know. Like just yeah, no, this didn't matter. It makes me want to talk about this one topic, but I'm guess like I think it would fit in like I want to bring. But yeah, I don't know. Like that's I don't know. Like yeah, it does make me feel bad for I because it's like you know if she just doesn't get that much time with Sprig because he's always getting like whisked away to like this whole new adventure. Well, she's just stuck at Wartwood, but I guess that's why they sort of gave an episode like this to her. Like, do you think they were trying to sort of avoid that trap where this one character's role is just being like the main protagonist's love interest or something? Because I feel like because it feels like sort of I don't want to call it meta, but I feel like this does feel sort of self-aware where they're like, oh wow, like we're sort of making Ivy's role in this series just being tied to the fact that she, can't spend time with Spriggs. Like I feel like they sort of did that here, right?
No, I totally agree with you. Like, I feel like I got that same vibe too because I wanted to save it for later, but it's probably relevant now. I think what I really like about Sprig's involvement in Ivy's story here is that like he got to have like all these adventures, and that had an effect on like that affected Ivy, and then now Ivy kind of wants that. Now that she heard about this from Sprig, like she now wants this for herself. And I think out of all like these Wartwood like towny episodes that we get into, I feel like even though this isn't my favorite of the bunch, it's I think it has the strongest it has the strongest premise because it's like it has the best connection to like the main characters themselves. Like I guess
Yeah, absolutely.
we have like Ivy on the Run, Maddie and Marcy, and I think Total Redemption. Like those are the ones where I consider like the towny episodes for this like
Yeah,
2B. And I felt like Ivy on the Run had like the best kind of like it felt like the most it felt like the main cast influenced this episode the most. Even though Total Redemption was
yeah,
kind of more of like it was more about Toadstool's like own like Toadstool had like his progression from like corrupt mayor to like corrupt mayor who cares about the town. Ivy didn't have as much as Toadstool, so she had to rely a little bit on like the influence of the planners to like propel her own story, which I liked.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I totally get where you're coming from because I feel like the fact that this episode just you like it yeah this episode it didn't just let some of those beginning road trip episodes just be one-offs, right? Like this episode used the weight of that to sort of like supplement Ivy's growth, which like yeah I really do appreciate the show doing, honestly, because it just I don't know it just makes everything feel like it has a greater effect on the series overall because seriously yeah Ivy wouldn't have been so motivated to damn. Okay. Yeah. No. We're going to even the episode, but like, yeah. No. I totally get what you mean. This like it is pretty. Because I'm gonna lie. Yeah. Well, when these batches of episodes were airing, man, I did miss the planters. Like I like when we eventually got to Maddie and Marcy, and we got that one scene where they're like, you know what I mean? Where they're like what did he say? Like yeah, did Sprig say, hey, isn't it weird when the main characters don't appear in an episode and Amber's like, you don't miss them, and like, no, I miss you guys. Like I wanted them back so bad, and yeah, I think that's like a really cool thing about Ivy and the Run. The fact they just like it wasn't about the planters, but they still made them have that presence even when they weren't even on screen. Because everything here, the only reason like why yeah this episode was happening was because the planters took that trip back then, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like yeah, I'll probably like gush about it like near the end too. But yeah, those are just my sentiments. Like, but yeah, like Ivy, she gets out of bed and we get to see her without her hat on, and like, I mean, if the shut-in wasn't canon, at least like they show Ivy's hair here now. But and Ivy's room is
I
like
still
just as
consider this.
oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna say I still consider the Spivey bits canon. Like I don't care what anyone says.
From the shut-in.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can consider wherever you want canon. But I mean, actually, wait, no, you can't. But yeah, well, the phone mo is definitely not canon.
Yeah.
Is Twig and Molly real? But whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
But Ivy's room is pretty cool. Like she has like a bunch of like her and Sprig.
yeah.
They love their interior, like their interior decor. Like Ivy's got like a bunch of like she just has a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of like targets
Yeah, I
and
know. Like,
punching bags, and like she's ready to like.
yeah, her room has so much personality, dude. Like, it makes me feel bad when I look at mine. Like, just a bunch of white walls, pretty much. Like, damn. It's just like, yeah, like it's really decked out, man. It's just like like, what is with this room? Holy shit! Like a bunch of posters. Oh, I think she has like a pet spider or something. Like there's one in the jar in the tree, and then she has like a hatchet stuck in it. Yeah, she has like multiple hatchets. Like what? What are those like shurikens, right? Then daggers. Like
Yeah,
yeah, like
shurikens.
Ivy just has room decked out.
Yeah, and she has all of her like motivational posters up,
Yeah,
which will she'll like refer to them later on in the episode too. But yeah, she gets up, she rushes downstairs, and she's about to like go like bug catching with Sprig, but then Felicia like stops her. She has to do her chores first, and we get to see like the daily life of like Ivy and all these kids in Wartwood having to like work at the age of 13.
yeah, good old child labor.
Yep, good old.
Oh my damn! I don't even. Yeah, you don't even like. These are like the kind of things you don't even like think about when it comes to Amphibia. Yeah, like they. So yeah, so like what time period did Nat say the show was set in? Like a medieval era, right? And like,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it makes sense. But damn,
I mean, like you have shows
you
like
look at it
Bob's
from a
Burgers where
perspective.
where all the kids are helping out too, and
Oh, yeah, that's true.
but yeah, yeah, like Felicia's like showing all of like Ivy's mistakes where it's like the swan napkin is not like neck is like slightly drooping and there's like a speck on a plate, all that attention to detail stuff that Ivy's not too enthusiastic about correcting.
Yeah, God, I won't lie because I like it's gonna be really stupid, but like, no, that scene made me think I had some kind of speck on my iPad. So I actually tried to scrub it off when I was watching.
Yeah, so yeah, before Ivy can go out, she has to finish those chores. And then it cuts to like Sprig, like just trying to Alicia Rocha, she like because she's a big Sprig fan, so she gets to like board all these like she gets to like you get to see like all like the Sprig expressions like on point and like at 110%. It's great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know, dude. It's like, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. It's like what that one border from DuckTales does of Louie. Like you can just tell who their favorite character is just based on just how dynamic and
Yeah, yeah,
expressive they
just
are. I mean, just yeah. Like now that I'm just taking a closer look at this scene, like this one scene, like yeah, she didn't have to go this hard. Like Frosha did not have to, but she just did, dude. And like, God, it looks great.
like I know it's like a common scene. It's just like Sprig like thinking about Ivy remind me of like Della from DuckTales when she's like thinking about how to greet the kids.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. God, but I can't even like the fact that Ivy was there the whole time. That was like that's fucking that's embarrassing. Like how do you recover from that?
Yeah, she just bursts out of like the stump underneath, ambushing him, and like, yo, we got this like back to back ambush jokes. Like that is Oh, Spivey.
Oh, it just makes me think, like, how does that stump? Is that stump just connected to Ivy's house? Like, how did she get there?
No,
Or was she just hiding there the whole time, right? Like, or did she somehow get there before him,
well, she had to do her chores
and
first,
she was
so
hiding there the whole time, right?
no idea. I think it's not something we need to
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm trying to find a nitpick. Like, I'm trying to find a nitpick for the episode.
like. I just realized that we got like a Spivey episode like every season where it's like season one, like I guess you could say dating season. Season two was Ivy on the run, and then like season three is Spivey.
It's nice they got a little like trio like that. I think like I don't know. Yeah, one of my favorite parts about like the relationships is just how they like it's how they're flirting. Like, yeah, it's how they're flirting evolved, man. Because I think like back then when they first started dating, they could barely look each other in the eyes, and sometimes Sprig would just like there'd be like that joke where Sprig would do something crazy because he didn't know how to handle these feelings. And here, like and then season two, yeah, there's some flirting, but like they still don't. Like they're still not fully confident, and like I don't know what the hell happened in season three. Like in season three, they eventually stopped giving a shit.
Yeah, they're like
Like,
they're in their honeymoon phase, and
yeah, yeah, man. No, but God, I still stand by. Bravey is still like one of the best 3B episodes, man. It's just so fucking funny. Like I was laughing every 10 seconds watching that episode.
hold on, let me just get out of like let me just avoid the window so I avoid the snipers. Yeah, yeah, Spivey's all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The hell?
No, no, no,
Hey! Come on
no,
now.
no.
What do you mean?
Actually, no,
All
no,
right.
no, no, don't worry, don't
Nah,
worry.
you know it's a banger. You know it's a banger,
Yeah, yeah,
Tom. You know that's
yeah.
a
I'm
banger.
not complaining.
Come on.
I'm just saying. Like, I just want to be in a safe area before I
Nah,
give any
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
Spivey take.
Nah, I understand. Yeah. I just like nothing. I mean, I think nah, it's okay to talk about Sprite. This is Ivy on the line, but like, I think for me, it's just like I don't know. I feel like people are too stuck up to nowadays. Like, I don't even like the complaint that they're too like what annoying or like I don't even know the other thing. But yeah, no, it was dumb. Nah, man, it was dumb to even like complain about stuff like that because that's like literally the joke. They're being obnoxious, like of course, like that, and that's a joke here. Like relax and just laugh at it. So I think for me, like it makes it a banger and a half. Like, come on, I was like, how can you hate the dance scene? Come on, the Charlie Brown reference. Like,
Yo,
how can you even with a straight face tell me you dislike that? It
yeah,
makes
I
no
know. I
sense.
like Spivey, but we gotta we
Yeah,
gotta
no,
go talk about Ivy on
we
the
gotta
run.
start going. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
I mean, yeah. So we get a cute Spivey moment with Ivy showing up, like ambushing Sprig, and unfortunately, Spivey gets overshadowed in Ivy on the run by
yeah. There's just no competition,
this
man. I'm
like
sorry, but as soon as this
it's hard to
dropped,
compete. It's hard to compete with
yeah,
uh and not Ann Ollie, Pa'an Team Pa'an.
yeah,
Muay Thai's their way into the episode,
yeah.
looking like
Like
Sonic Boom
instantly, yeah.
characters.
I know. Like with all the bandages, like, dude. I'm sorry, man, but it's just like even so. I just went on this Spivey rant. I'm not even gonna lie. Like this steals my attention every time. Like this is supposed to be an episode about Ivy, but man, I'm sorry, but like Muay Thai and like it just takes up 90% of my thoughts on Ivy on the Run because I don't know. It's just so fucking entertaining from as soon as they start chanting Muay Thai. Like it's just I don't know. It's just great.
And it's all like funny and cute. Where it's like Polly's just resting on her head, all doing
Yeah.
the same motions. It's
Man, and I miss that, man. I miss Polly just resting on her head. And no, Sprig doing it too. Like they'd literally just jump on her head and just rest there. Like that was easily like the cutest detail in the show.
yeah, and Anne explains how like Mrs. Boonchoi like enrolled Anne in like in Muay Thai classes after like what was it like how high spirited she was, and like it cuts to like we get to see like the kitchen and like it's like a flashback, and
Yeah, wasn't that her? Oh no, it wasn't her first, but yeah, I think this was
Her
like
second
if you look at her
appearance.
design, yeah. I feel like, yeah, I guess this is when they sort of like finalized her design, right? Because I know
Right.
they sort of because they changed it up. They changed it up quite a bit going through the series, but I think at this point, this is where they figured out how they wanted Mrs. Bunchwood to look.
Yeah, like we saw like we got to look at her in Lost in
Yeah,
Utopia.
I think
It
it's
looked
Lost
it
in
looked like
Utopia.
kind of like a
Yeah,
lot different than what we saw in the final design.
yeah, yeah. But here, I guess they were just really close to figuring it out. But
Yeah,
also,
and
yeah, I don't know. This moment is very relatable, man. Like Jesus, like if I got near the stove and my mom was cooking something, woof, like I had to start running.
yo, like she got to even like apparently Mrs. Boonchoi tolerated Anne for a while. Like Anne was just like set up there, and until like
Yeah, I'm
Mrs.
surprised
Boonchoi
she even got
finally
that
kicked her
far.
out. Like
Yeah, finally snapped.
yeah, I love how like she just yells at Anne and get out and shouts and
Yeah,
tie and but yeah, it was really nice to see like another look at like we didn't at this point we didn't know like we'd be getting like we'd get to like actually like meet Mrs. Boonchoi. So it's really like it was really interesting like looking back at this episode.
yeah. Like honestly, now yeah, because it sort of makes it feel like I take these moments for granted now because like I don't know, just back then, dude. Yeah, that was pretty much all we had, and I was like, I'm just trying to put myself in a mindset again, but I don't know. I just feel like I can't right now. But like, yeah, just like I don't know. I guess it was always like I feel like back then I kept on like replaying. Like I don't know. I feel like I sort of like overlook these moments now, but like I just know for a fact back then, yeah, like a moment like this would be something I'd be replaying because that was the only glimpse we had of her mom at the time, and like well, besides that episode we mentioned, but and it was like I don't know. We just did not know we'd be on Earth eventually. We just had no clue.
Yeah, so like this moment in Lost in Utopia and Hopping Mall, like it's interesting looking back and seeing how like all those moments were like would be continuing into season 3 in a way.
Yeah, it's also just honestly, yeah, it's also just interesting to think because I feel like yeah, now that we have that sort of perspective, we can also just look back and just sort of see how they're still figuring out her mom throughout the series. Because like just back then, I didn't even like think about the fact that they were like changing up her design. Like I was just like, I didn't even like think of that much. I was like, oh, cool, funny little Earth scene, right? Like I didn't realize they were prepping for this whole ass arc about it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And yeah, like then like Anne and Polly just shout off like they just go back like to own little their own little like B plot and yeah, like Sprig and Ivy they're doing some bug catching and Sprig is filling her in on all of his adventures and I like we already talked about like Sprig's like how Sprig's like journey affects Ivy in this episode and it's all great
Yeah.
stuff.
No, but I'm gonna have to say though, man, like this kid literally just had an episode about how like should be lying, and this motherfucker does it again. Like I really I just like what's he doing, bro? Like he literally saw like you almost got murdered by an eldritch like creature because you were trying to like lie, and now he's doing it again. Like it's pretty. Come on now,
Yeah, like how many allies did they actually make on that road trip?
like
Like maybe in
this.
Utopia they made some friends, but like Edinburgh they just like immediately dipped out.
Yeah, they bailed. Yeah, they bailed. Yeah, I'm like damn, like I don't think they. It's a really good point. Like I don't.
I mean,
Like I'm trying to like look over their adventure in my head. I don't think they did, dude. 'Cause,
Quarters
like I think
Pass they almost got
Yeah, because every single time they had to run away from some kind of danger, right? Like most of the time, right? So
The
there was that one
caravan.
creature that tried to eat him, and yeah, okay, yeah, no, yeah, okay. I feel like they made. I don't think they made any allies until they got to Utopia. Like, I don't think there's any town they left on good terms with because like you just like
I mean,
comb
technically
through it in your
Edieburg.
head. It's like
Technically, they inspired Edieburg, but that was mostly Hop Hop.
yeah, they're also like scared out of their mind. I feel like they're never gonna go back there again. Like they're scared of that town. Yeah, I feel like it might have just been in Utopia, dude. Like I don't think they made like I feel like Edinburgh is probably the closest they had besides in Utopia, but like yeah, everything else they just ran away, man.
Oh, Rivetvale.
like Rivet. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now that's one. Okay, you're right about that one.
I mean, who needs friends when you got like one wealthy family?
Yeah, now you got a question like, why was Sprig like even trying to like live it? Dude, like Sprig, you met the richest frogs in all of Frog Valley, bro. Or not Frog Valley, but you know what I mean? You met the richest frogs in the world, bro. You don't need to lie about everything else. Like, you're already good right there.
Yeah, he's got Wally. He's got Wally to
Yeah.
finance
Oh
him,
shit. Jeez.
and Wally because
I
like Wally's LARP budget is probably like
yeah.
off the charts.
Oh, no, you just have to. God, I don't know. Sometimes I just think about like how Wartwood is poor, right? Super fucking poor, and like just imagine like Wally's friends complaining about not being able to pay for their mortgage, like their house is gonna be repossessed, and he's just like, yep, like it's like fucking Wally. Like I don't know, it's still like like the fact that he was I don't know, like we don't even need to go into it, but it's just the fact that like I don't know, like he's in a town where all these people are struggling financially, and he's just like fucking larping as one of them, dude. Like just fucking.
Wally is
Oh
dangerously
man,
close to like
yeah.
the class war. Like he is like in the middle out of sheer charisma. Like
Christ.
it's like all right, Wally.
He's-
It's like I know you're. It's like it's like you could stay, Wally. Everyone else gets the guillotine. but
yeah, exactly.
but yeah, like Sprig kind of oversells his time outside the valley. I should say oversells, like over like he basically like yeah he's overselling what, but
Yeah.
he offers to take Ivy out of the valley the next time they go out. You know, this kid is like 10 at the time, and he's like taking the girl out of the city.
Yeah, let's go, Sprig. Did he ever actually get that date though? Like, I guess he technically did in Spivey, right? But like
Technically,
that was
yeah,
a whole mission, so who knows?
yeah. So they're catching
No, I was
bugs.
about to say something sad, but nah, I won't say it.
Wait, what do you want to say?
Nah, I was just gonna say Anne was never there, man. She was never there for his first date, bro. She never got to know about it. she never got to know.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said
like it just popped right in my head. Like I don't know. Like oh, but, I mean, it's okay though.
It's
It's
fine.
I don't know. It's somehow fine. It's fine.
Like they're about to catch this like giant bug, and then like Felicia kind of interrupts Ivy with this kind of some kind of like hornet phone thing, which I don't know how this works, but you know, like
Yeah,
I
is
feel
this the
like
thing
out
you're
of
gonna nitpick
everything.
at?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna. Is this the thing you're gonna nitpick at? Like, I'm trying to find it. I'm like, what is it? Like, what in this episode are you gonna snip at?
No. This isn't the nitpick. This is just like the like you know I accepted like because I'm trying to I want to nitpick this, but
yeah,
I've accepted like more outlandish things in Amphibia with bugs and what they can do. Like It's like a bug flamethrower. Yeah, I can understand. It's like somehow like these bugs, these hornets, acting as like walkie talkies or telephones. It's like starting to stretch it. But
this is just
robot,
weird.
like futuristic robot. Yeah, that's fine. It's futuristic. Yeah, I can excuse that. But the bug phones are too far for me.
I mean, I can't blame you. Like this, yeah, this is definitely far out there. Like I don't even know what to say, right? Like, did Utopia have anything like this advanced, or I don't think so. Did they?
I don't think so.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I guess maybe we can chalk this up to the fact that Felicia. Yeah, because honestly, yeah, I was thinking about this during the episode. Like, maybe this just Felicia came across on her adventures outside of Wartwood, right? Like, 'cause, I mean, yeah, honestly, yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised. I mean, Amphibia is just like this could very easily just be some like I don't want to call it ancient technology because it's just a fucking phone, right?
But how? Like it's
It's just
like
a phone.
one
And it's
bug.
like
It's like are these bugs like telepathically like linked and like
oh no. Yeah, this is okay. This is weird. Like I don't even
how do the bug phones work?
like. Yeah, I don't know. There's amphibia stuff going on. I don't know. Amphibia magic.
Like I can accept like
Or
the
maybe
gems
we
of
can
like
just.
infinite power, but it's like bug phones. Nah, this is too far.
Uh,
But this isn't the nitpick. No, this wasn't the nitpick of the episode I had.
no.
But
She just had Maddie enchant them.
okay, yeah, if it's magic, okay, yeah, I can. It's fine. But yeah, Ivy kind of like Felicia calls Ivy back to do chores, or I'm trying to check the subtitles of this episode again. It's like yeah, just like just to go back home and do chores again. But she storms off, and Sprig is just like entranced. Or say, is that even a word? He's just like obsessed with Ivy after she like storms off, like super angry. But
Didn't like falling from that tree give him a black eye?
yeah, I did. She punches the tree, and then
Yeah,
like
he's like,
Sprig just like collapses.
yeah. He just goes back to simping.
But we go back to like Muay Thai Ann and Polly. Like I think they're probably the same lily pad that Sprig and Hop Pop fought at in Sprig versus Hop
Oh
Pop.
shit, yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, I think you're right actually.
Uh,
I'm telling you, man, Sprig versus Hop Hop. I'm telling you about that episode, man. That has us wait.
like,
Damn it! I should have like prepared like a whole connection to Sprig versus Hop Hop. Damn it! I should have came pre-prepared for that. It
imagine
just
like
popped off.
yeah, just imagine like
Oh, go
generations
ahead.
of planners like coming here to this specific spot just to fight.
I can totally see it. Like, I mean, I still had canon that like Hop Hop because Sprig was doing it for so long that Hop Hop like willingly beat the shit out of him when he was a tadpole. Like, I still stand by that because I feel like that's something Hop Hop would definitely do. He'd be like, I'll teach you to disrespect me, boy. Like, he just comes after him. I just would put him past him. Of course, I mean, Sprig's not the type to learn, so like, he would keep on going. But yeah, I don't know, man. I had canon to that.
Like yeah, like Anne is trying to teach Polly how to fight. Not how to fight. Yeah, actually, yeah, just in general how to fight. Like with the like through the art of Muay Thai, and Polly is not getting the hang of this. Like she's just trying to like she's just throwing herself at Anne. Anne is just easily dodging all of her attacks. And then like yeah, so like Polly just like keeps throwing herself at Anne, and then eventually she hits Wally, who is just casually in the just casually just like in the bushes for some
Is
reason.
yeah, just I don't know. He was just I don't know. Like I guess I honestly have no excuse for this guy. He was just being a creep.
Oh, Wally. That's why we love him. No, no, kids don't like. I don't know how to. Just never mind. Never mind. Like, just don't. Wally is Wally, and then Wally decides to get in on this like Muay Thai lesson, and apparently he is just like immediately gets the hang of it and is able to like at least spar with Anne, while Polly couldn't even land a hit, and Polly's not happy about that.
Honestly, you just gotta appreciate that Wally and Ant synergy, man. Like I don't know, like I hate to say this on Ivy's episode, but like I'm sorry, Thumb. Like every time Muay Thai Ann just easily outclasses it.
I just like how Anne and Wally are just hanging out.
Yeah, exact. I know because like I feel like no, dude, yeah, we didn't even. We never got a Anna Wally episode in season 3, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that's what it really it does make me appreciate. God, sorry, I'm just realizing how like some of the sad implications about 2B because this is technically some of the last few moments where Anna and Wally got to hang out, man, before everything went down. Like I'm sorry to say that, but it's true.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
uh
now I'm making you miserable. Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine. That's why
I'm
we're
sorry.
here to be miserable together
Yeah.
about Frog Show, but yeah, meanwhile back with Ivy and Felicia, like I like how Felicia's showing more of Ivy's mistakes, and I'm trying to look at between the table arrangement, and like they're both identical except for like that just for that not teacup but the what's the name, like just like not I don't want to say it's the kettle, it's like it's the thing you use to pour the tea, like that lid is like just off for Ivy, like that's the only difference I think, and then like Felicia has to go over and like correct it. Just I still kind of feel for Ivy. It's like yeah, the teapot. Oh my god, I can't believe. Yeah, thank you, Impact. Yeah, like yeah, the teapot lid is just like a little bit off, and then like they have to like sift the tea, and that little drop goes out, and I love the kettle joke where like Ivy starts doing like the comedic like steam coming out of her ears, and it's just the standard like
That classic cartoon humor.
yeah. But I like how they don't show like Ivy just like not meshing with this at all. Like at least like Ivy is shown to be like somewhat like good at what Felicia's like teaching her. It's just like those like little things. It's just because you would see other episodes where it's like the parents trying to teach the kid, and the kid's not like complete like is not picking up the activity, like picking up like they're not doing the work well at all. It's like, oh, this isn't for me. But like at least with Ivy here, she's like actually like doing everything mostly correctly. It just Felicia's like criticizing her for those smaller details, and that's where the frustration's coming from. Which like I guess makes this episode like a lot more like sympathetic for Ivy.
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. I feel like it also just does a good job of setting up that twist for, later on. But yeah. I do like your thoughts here because like I didn't even like honestly think about that, but it is like a nice little twist in that classic trope right here.
Yeah, so they do yeah, like doing the folding the tablecloth thing. That's what like. Okay, yeah, this last task was a little bit. It wasn't too like Ivy missed like half the. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
on
yeah.
Ivy's
Ivy
side
wasn't
here.
trying
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Like,
she wasn't trying there. Like
yeah, she wasn't trying.
yeah, then eventually like she gets fed up and she goes to her room. At least here we see like when all the plates fall, like we get a little glimpse that like Felicia is at least like more capable than we thought, where she like quickly like catches all the dishes and all
Yeah.
the cups and yeah. So Ivy's looking at her motivational posters and she's thinking about running away. Yeah, that last poster is just. I like how the first two posters at least are a little more like motivational. The last one's just like more
And
comedic, I
what did the
guess.
last one say? Let
Do
me
it,
see.
coward.
Oh yeah, do it. Yeah, do it, coward. Damn.
Like imagine waking up to that poster.
Yeah.
That's how you.
But apparently it works for Ivy though.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
she
she's just
starts her
built
day.
different. Yeah.
But I like how it cuts back to Sprig, and Sprig's just like using his slingshot, and then like I love how like when Ivy throws the rock, it just like comes back at her, comes back at him, and he just looks at his slingshot like whoa.
Yeah.
And then like Ivy's got like the classic like sack tied around a stick, like ready to go, ready to run away. And I like how so you can actually when they're jumping through the trees, you can hear a little bit of like that theme that plays where Spriggan like for Spriggan and moments where I think the easiest you can hear is from Best Franz where like Sprig is sleeping and Anne's looking at the photo and you hear like this kind of like musical cue for Sprig and Anne. You can kind of hear it here as well when Ivy's like running off and Sprig's like kind of going after her.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, yeah, yeah. I can sort of hear. Yeah, I can sort of hear it. Oh yeah, no, okay, yeah. I just realized. Yeah, it's 100% there now. I can see it.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I guess it's.
yeah, I didn't catch it until like once I like kind of like paid more attention to like the music. Like when I was rewatching it, I was like, oh, like I can immediately like pick that out. But
Yeah, I guess like. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a good point about it, but I guess they just wanted to reuse this song for this moment. I mean, it fits pretty damn well.
yeah, I kind of wish Sprig. Yeah, so Ivy talks about like Ivy wants Sprig to be his guide, be her guide when they run away, and yeah, Sprig kind of like tries to talk Ivy out of it. Oh, we know he doesn't talk her out of it. He just says like, "What if I was exaggerating?" Like his time outside the valley.
Oh,
Oh, we get to hear Ivy's full name.
oh yeah, shoot.
It's
Ivy
Ivy.
hibiscus.
Yeah, Ivy hibiscus uh matcha matcha
Let's see it
sundew.
again. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I wonder, like, I could probably Google those
I,
right now, but like, I think my keyboard noises will go through the mic. But
yeah, I'm trying to like remember the other middle names they gave us. Like I know they gave Anna and Polly's. I think it's just those two. We didn't really get anyone else's.
yeah,
But
Polly
yeah, I don't know.
was,
I don't know. Like it's like they're details that don't matter that much, but I don't know. They just feel kind of meaningful.
and also it's like if something's going down when you hear your full name. But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so they're running, and then like Felicia like comes back with those bug phones. That's how do they work, Nick? How do how do the bug phones
Nah,
work? Like,
nah.
but yeah, there she's. I like it, but apparently I like Felicia wasn't too far behind. She's
Yeah, what the hell? Like she was like in the bushes, right? Like she was just like I guess she just instantly knew Ivy was. I guess she just instantly knew Ivy was gonna try and bail, and like she just started following her or something.
I guess so, yeah. And then we cut back to Muay Thai and
Yes, let's go.
yeah, like Polly's trying to ambush her again, and she just can't land a hit. Eventually, like Sprig and Ivy bump into Anne, and that's when Polly just goes flying into Felicia's arms, and
I don't know why I thought that was. I don't know why I found that to be so funny. I just had to pause and just laugh at every good 10 seconds. Like there's just something about her just flying through the air and then getting caught by Felicia and just going, "Oh, thanks."
oh yeah, she
Like
makes that joke about learning
I
how
don't
to
know, it was
fly.
perfect. Yeah. Oh wait, shit, wait, yeah, 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 yeah. Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah, like then like Felicia comes out, and they like her and Ivy start arguing, and and then Ivy like just says she doesn't want to be Felicia's
Yeah, she
daughter.
just
It's like
like,
damn, like
yeah, yeah, annihilates her, bro. Like she doesn't even like hold back. She just goes for it. Damn.
yeah, but at least she like immediately regrets it. And
Yeah,
I feel like Felicia kind of like gets it, and that's when she like suggests the fight thing.
yeah.
But I just love how like all these like all this family drama is like, all right, let's resolve this with like a duel.
Yeah, like freaking family challenges, dude. I don't know. I feel like yeah, that's like one of my favorite. Like I don't know if to call it like a running gag, but I feel like yeah, that, I don't know. That's just like one of my favorite parts about like exploring the world. How that's just like a consistent thing. Anytime someone challenges like their family, right? Like it all just hangs on to this one duel between them, and like I don't know. I always found that to be so amusing.
Yo, they didn't ring a bell. I wish they rang a bell here, just to like follow what they did in Swamp and Sensibility. Just like, cause like when Wally like challenged his dad, he
Oh
rang the
yeah, yeah,
gong. Like
yeah,
at least here, I wish they had like a little small bell just to.
yeah.
Yeah, so they have like so Felicia like suggests like three rounds, and if Ivy can win at least one, she gets to do what she wants basically. And Ivy is just like, oh yeah, like this is gonna be easy, like because that's how she saw Felicia. And then they get all their like bandages. They all become like I don't want I know I keep making like Sonic Boom like jokes, but
Uh,
like
yeah, they become Sonic Boom characters. Nah, there's no, there's isn't a this and that.
yeah, so they like yeah, so like they get in a fight like I don't know how to describe it. Just like the first two rounds, Ivy just goes after Felicia, and then Felicia just immediately like dodges all of her attacks and lands a hit, like a non-lethal hit. Like
Damn,
she just like
yeah. It's the opposite for Ivy though, dude. I mean, I'm like rewatching this fight. She was like literally trying to slug her mom, bro. Like what the fuck?
she was like so
Like,
enthusiastic about it too. She's like, yeah, I could
yeah,
beat up my mom, and then
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like immediate
Like
shock when
she
she
was
uses
like
like both
ready.
rounds.
Yeah, like she was ready to kick her mom's ass. Like I feel like they should have stopped the fight and started questioning what the hell was with Ivy. Because believe she's just like dodging all her attacks, and Ivy's out here trying to slug her in the face, dude. Like what the hell?
Yeah, then eventually, like, Polly at the same time is like learning her lesson too, watching them, like, and she's just sitting in Anne's lap. Aw,
Yeah, see, that's what I'm telling you, man. Like I don't know, like because she got her legs, she doesn't really do adorable stuff like that anymore, man. I don't know. That was like half of what I enjoyed about watching, but like, but Polly's scenes, like I don't know, like it was just so cute how people would just how some of the characters would just carry her.
yeah. But then for that final round, like, like Felicia kind of just like starts to like, Felicia like takes pity on Ivy and just like tells her about the lessons she did with sifting the tea and folding the swan, and we get to see, oh, like all that stuff Ivy did was like were like moves she could use in fights, and yeah, then eventually like Ivy uses these lessons to like beat Felicia, but of course like Ivy's gonna learn her lesson and like and stay with Felicia and learn under her. I guess okay. Actually, no. Maybe it's too early to talk. I guess like Felicia explains at this point, like she's been outside the valley for her like travels with involving tea, and this is where she learned all of her moves, and everything she does for Ivy was like to prepare her to take her outside the valley one day. It's just, why just tell this from the start? Like that's my nitpick. That's my only nitpick. It's like
Oh,
Felicia was
that's
being
a
like
yeah, that's
super
a
like she didn't explain like the whole thing, but made Ivy
yeah,
do
it's
all
actually a
this
really
without
good point.
explanation. Like
Yeah.
if she told Ivy like, okay, yo, like do all this stuff, but they're also like sick like martial arts moves, like then Ivy would be like, all right, fine, like I'll perfect this craft. But like she doesn't. And
Yeah, like I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, yeah, I think you're just right. Yeah, she really could have just told Ivy, not even this episode, like, but like a very long time ago, the purpose of her doing all this stuff. But I guess like I don't know, like maybe Felicia got a little too settled down in Wartwood or something. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like God, I feel like Amphibia characters did that a lot to each other, where it would have just been easy to just like
tell
you know
the
what I mean?
truth
Just
from the
just tell a
beginning.
character flat out what was going on, and but then like they like I'm going back to a random episode, but just like what was it? Hunter, yeah, and Hunter were like hop pop. Like he tells them they have no food and that they're gonna starve, and that makes Anne sad. Then he just laughs in her face. Like I'm just going back to that. Like I don't know. Yeah, like yeah, I just don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what else to say. I feel like you're just right. Like, that's not like criticism I can really disagree with.
Yeah, but it's like at the end of the day, it's just a nitpick because like it's like so many
Yeah.
like shows do like this is Karate Kid thing.
Yeah, they just wanted the Karate Kid parody, pretty much.
Yeah, is Karate Kid the one with the like paint the fence?
Yeah, well, I think it's the one where I think it's like the wax on, wax
Oh,
off thing
wax on,
comes
wax
from
off.
at
Yeah, yeah.
least. Yeah.
And then we get I love that. I love that crack theory about like when Felicia mentions about
Oh
like
yeah.
how she met Ivy's father. And just the cameras like people like not people, maybe
Oh
like one
my
person just like
god.
had the like talked about how like the camera just has Wally in the frame. It's just
Yeah, one person was coping hard, man. Like I don't really have. I feel like yeah, there are a good amount of theories just because it just because Wally was the most in frame when she was talking about Ivy's father and stuff like. Come, I okay. I won't lie. I did kind of like the theory. I don't know, man. Like, I thought it was. I don't know. I like the idea of Wally getting set up with someone, but like, it was still a really weird theory because it just opened up like a ton of questions and stuff. Like because like, did Wally forget? Like why didn't they say anything? Did Wally forget somehow? Like I don't know. Like a lot of things.
I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never. But and I like how they're all like Anne, Wally, and Sprig are are touched by this moment between mother and daughter, and then Anne realizes Polly's gone, and that's when Polly just like Polly tries to land her hit and just like lands a direct hit on Wally, and just Wally just passes out. That was just like
Yeah,
an
it freaking
immediate knockout.
shatters his jaw. Yeah, like he's just knocked the fuck out. Like I don't even know what to say. Like, Polly, why? Like just why, Paul? Like, why would you do that, Polly? Like the fuck? Like, she literally knocks him out flat, dude. Oh man.
Yeah, that's pretty much Ivy on the run. And
Yeah, what a good way to cap off there.
yeah, just like, Karate Kid parody, and then Wally gets decked. That's
Yeah, honestly, yeah, there's really no other way to end it. Like he literally just like that's just how they end it. They're all just staring at Wally, just lying down on the floor, like what the fuck? And then Andrew's like, he won't remember this. It's fine. Like, did they leave?
that's how
Like,
they.
did they just like I don't know. I just imagine like what they. I'm just trying to imagine like what they did next. Like, did they wait for him to wake up? Did they just leave him there? Like, I have a feeling it's the latter.
Yeah, they just like covered like a. They just covered him with like a leaf blanket and just left. But
Yeah.
but yeah, like overall, like my final thoughts on this episode is just like yeah, it's like a solid, like it's just a fun episode, and I just really liked how like even though the planners weren't too involved, and or the planners weren't too involved, like you could still feel their presence in on the story through like Ivy wanting to like kind of like explore outside the valley because of what she heard about from Sprig.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
Nick,
It's a
any
nice episode. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna ask you about your like final thoughts on this
Oh.
episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, it's a nice episode that just makes good use of what came before it, and just adds some, nice depth to Ivy and Felicia's relationship. For anyone, sort of pining for that, and it's just, I don't know, it's just, it was a good start to them shaking up the formula with Wartwood, and yeah, I mean, overall, I enjoyed it.
All right, thank you, Nick. So I guess we can. I think it's time, Nick.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go. After the Rain, written by Geneva Mai, storyboards by Drew Applegate and Nat Maher. Sorry, Nate Maher, and directed by Kyler Spears. Okay, I guess. Okay, Nick, do you want to start with your general
Oh,
thoughts
I
on this
mean,
episode?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I got you. I got you. I got you. But what would be like the right way to do this? Should I?
No,
Nah,
like
yeah, okay. I
no,
guess I guess
no.
I'll,
Say
I
say
guess I'll
whatever
bring him
you
the
want. Don't
fan.
don't worry. Like
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'll bring him the fan. Yeah, yeah. So like this episode after the rain, yeah, like its name was first dropped I think back in December, right when Matt revealed all the titles for Tubi, and like yeah, that created like a lot of hype for this episode because we were like, I mean, it was like what the hell could this be, right? Like we're finally back in Warwood, so maybe this could be about the box, and then we got the description for it, right? So more hype, and then we had like that whole week where everyone just hyped this up as like this crazy, super emotional episode. You had Nat posting that one poster with Hop Pop just teary eyed staring at a puddle and like loads of things and like because you just have to like understand because back then going into this episode we even had that trailer too, man. That 2B trailer, you can't like that 2B trailer, bro. And like, the idea was this episode was supposed to show us how much of an absolute banger 2B was going to be. Right. Okay. Well, let's just say the nice way me putting it that ended up being the first Temple's job. Like, not this episode. Like yeah. And I'm not trying to say this like I hate after the rain. I feel like back then, yeah, maybe I would have had like really strong opinions about it, right? But now I'm just chilling on this episode. Like I feel like I still have like the same problems with it, but like they don't really affect my viewing anymore. Like it feels like I feel like I'm just happy to be watching an Amphibia episode, pretty much. And like what else should I go for here? Yeah, I don't know. Like it's and yeah, but like and don't worry, everyone. Like I don't have those classic problems where people just wanted more stuff from the box lore, or they just wanted like the conflict to go on for longer. I never really had issues with that. Like I never really cared that much. Like I mean, you guys really know me. Like I am not a lore guy. Like I am not a lore guy. I don't talk about lore that much. I don't munch for lore. I don't go to shows begging for lore. You know what I mean? Like I don't base my critiques on showing lore like a loser. Like I'm like you know what? Nah, I'll leave that one unedited. Like I'm just chilling, man. I'm just chilling when it comes to lore. And like yeah, I don't know. I just was not mad about this. I was not mad about the lore side of this episode, but what did what did leave me disappointed were the emotional beats because I didn't feel because this is supposed to be an episode where after like a season and a half of build up to this massive betrayal from Hop Pop finally gets unveiled to us, right? And you expect that to be pretty, dramatic, emotional, right? But like they just spice it up with too much comedy, if I'm being honest. Like I love Amphibia. I do love the comedy, right? And I do like that they aren't afraid to tell a joke or two, even in like an emotional scene. But like here it's just like here I don't know. It's just it took over the scene, man. Like they're like I like the last third, right? I like the last third, but like most of the emotional scenes of the first two thirds of the episode were just taken over by humor and it was just joke after joke after joke. Every time I just tried to settle in and feel sad about something, like they just broke it with some random joke, and it was just like, bro, like why are you doing this to me? Like I'm good. Like let me feel sad, but I don't know. I feel like and back then I probably would have been like saying like, oh, this makes the episode bad or this makes the episode mid, but I'm just like, yeah, these are problems I find in the episode, but they don't break up for me. So yeah, I just had to say all that.
All right, thank you, Nick. Like, Nick gave a pretty good. Nick gave a pretty good like summary of what it was like going into after the rain, and Nick and I both Nick and I both had the same priorities where we knew like we saw the hype and we were thinking, okay, like 11 minutes isn't gonna like we're not gonna get like I kind of knew we're gonna get like a shit ton of like lore development, and it was probably gonna focus on Anne and Hop Hop. And I wouldn't describe what happened in After the Rain as like a year and a half of build up. I think it was just mostly a year and a half of like this plot line being literally buried and dormant for a very long time. Like in terms of the show, nearly like half its life, and then for the fans, it's like almost 2 years of waiting to see where this thing would lead, like where this would lead. And we don't really see where it leads just yet. We kind of just saw like why Hop Hop did what he did. And I'll admit, like, I still enjoyed the episode. Like, I think this is like I would call this like at the time it was like a B episode, but an A plus for like Hop Hop's character. But I'm not gonna lie, I did have a little bit of like doubt, like festering at the back of my head for about a week before like the first temple kind of just like rolled in. It was like, hey, you know why we're a 22-minute episode, not the other temple episodes? It's because we're focusing on this. We're focusing on the fallout from after the rain. But I guess I'm just talking about the episode like in the moment when it first aired, and I'll talk about like I guess once we go through the episode and talk about a little bit more, I'll talk about my thoughts of it now. Thoughts on now. I really liked the episode at the time, but I had a little bit of doubts that were immediately like squashed by the show, and I just never wanted to doubt the show again after it kind of like put me in my place regarding this. But
Yeah. Oh
like
man.
no matter how dire things looked for other people in the fan, I was like, nah, I went through this. I got
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like the show like I learned my lesson. But yeah, those are my general thoughts or feelings about After the Rain. Uh, I guess we can just go into the episode. Like, yeah, it just starts off with everyone in the kitchen, and Anne got a letter from Marcy, and just talking about how like she's like coming to Wartwood, and gave a checklist. You know, weapons, food, armor. You know, and Hop Hop reveals that he made armor for the kids, and like, imagine as much as I'd love to see like Hop Hop like in a forge, like making some armor. Just a bunch of like puffy suits. But
Yeah, I mean, he's just a humble little farmer. I do know. I just love how he has like his arms folded around his back, like he's like admiring his masterpiece. Like the body language right there.
yeah, and I like. Okay, I'll talk about a moment later on. But he said the way he said like mobility, like less mobility, it's like less danger. Like I'll talk about that moment later on. But I just thought that was an interesting quote, looking back now. But yeah, and then Anne mentions like the music box, and Hop Hop immediately like freezes up, and this was the promo we got in
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
like Disney TVA Twitter, like they posted like a 10-minute, like 10-second clip, and this is the clip they chose of like they ended it off with Hop Hop like freezing at the his expression, hearing about the music box, and he says he'll grab it from his contacts. I guess and Anne tells him he's the best, but
Uh,
damn.
I just love the driving in that nail on Hop Hop. I mean, it's coming. I think that's something they really did a great job with in season two. Like just the constant mentions of the music box because you just knew it was like. I mean, I feel like we didn't know what specific episode it would be on, right? But like you could just feel it slowly creeping and creeping and creeping in because anytime it was just name dropped, like Hoppa would just be like, you just get these moments of immense fear and shame. Like, it's great.
Yeah, and it cuts to the night that same night. Anne's already packed and ready to go, and she's too excited to sleep. She hears something above her, and that's when she.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but like I gotta be honest with you. This is where I started checking out the episodes because I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know. There's just this kind of tone to the scene that just felt so awkward to me. I guess it's because it just relies on so many coincidences. Like, why can I not talk? I'm coincident. Fuck. Don't say the word.
Coincidences.
I can't say it. I don't know what's going on, but like it just I don't know. It just relies on so many different circumstances just going right to allow this to be the inciting incident. And I'm just like like oh man.
But you could say that same thing about like so much in Amphibia, where like Marcy just happened to find a book about the Calamity box and then saw that box the same day. It's like this isn't new.
I don't know, man. It's just yeah, I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair. It's just I don't I feel like
Think about the bug
I guess
phones,
it's
Nick. That's a
also
bigger
just
that's a bigger issue than
nah.
this.
Nah, no, but I feel like it's also the fact that we know what's going to happen, and it feels like just like let me just look for all this stuff. Like, I mean, look, we know what's going to happen, and I just wish they didn't like sort of build it up in such an obnoxious. I don't want to call it. I don't want to see. I feel like I'm being mean, but I wish they didn't build it up in like an. Damn it! I don't want to be like mean or anything. But I see. I can't be mean to the show. I feel like that's a problem. Like, but I don't know. It just there's so many lines are just kind of awkward, man. If I'm being honest, I don't know. It's just what but Anne laughing, classic hop hop being a freak. Like what? Um, I'm gonna give that nerd a little scare. Like the fuck? Like has Anne ever been motivated like that before? She wants to creep up on hop hop and just jump scare him. Like what is this? Like the only reason why she got close to hop hop and found out what happened was because she wanted to jump scare him. like that's my problem, man. I don't know, it's just weird. It's just weird how the scene flows. Like it's not that it has so many coincidences. It's just this is the reveal scene. This is how Anne finds out because she wanted to scare her old man. that's why, that's why I that might just be a nitpick, but like I don't know. That's always bugged me.
Yeah, like that's fair. Like I don't mind it. Just Anne, just it wasn't really like an important reason for Anne. She was just like just doing something. Like she just wanted to do something casually with like Hop Hop, and then just ended up blowing up. But yeah, like I don't blame you for like having that kind of criticism. But like she gets to Hop Hop, and like we're finding out at the same time, like the box is gone from when Hop Hop buried it, and that immediately like I kind of joked about
Yeah,
it during the
like
hiatus where it's like, oh, imagine if the box wasn't there. It's like, like where'd it go? And then it happened. It's like, oh shit, like what?
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. No, it was like I thought it was gonna develop into something huge. I was like, what the fuck? What? Like I was like the box, like because like damn,
yeah, like
right? Like they figured it.
once we get
Like
into like what happened to the box, then like I'll kind of be on the same page as you. But yeah, like in this moment, it was like, oh, like what's going on? Like
I know it was crazy. Yeah, because I never expected that. It was just crazy, like how it developed into that. But yeah, no. Yeah, honestly, no, I mean, I won't lie. I do like that sort of suspense here because it's like it automatically made me think like, oh god, is there like a third party involved in all this? Like, did I don't know? Did something else? Did someone else who knows about the calamity box got involved here? I don't know. It was. I think it was. I think that's a part of the scene that can admit I like.
yeah, that initial shock, and then like even Hop Hop's like freaking out, like
Yeah.
because imagine him like thinking about how dangerous it was, him bearing it out of that fear, and then just like digging this up and finding it gone, and then like Anne is just like right behind him, hearing all of this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like for
And
him, it's
honestly,
like
I do. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just like everything is like everything went wrong.
Pretty much. Yeah. Like it just got like God, it was already bad enough that she knows, but then it just got worse. Poor guy. But yeah, honestly, no, I just do love how Bill Farmer just conveyed like half of just like you know what I mean? It's like all that pressure of lying, like and just finally getting to spill out the truth. Like I don't know. It was just really like I just love how it was done here.
Yeah, it's like it's both comedic but still like kind of dramatic. Like Bill Farmer like walks that line. And he's done it before with the Goofy movie. Like I haven't watched that movie in years, but I just remember how strong that performance was. But
Yeah, like honestly, like damn it. Okay, now I just got to another point I can complain about, but like I don't want I don't want to. I feel like I've already complained enough, but like yeah, I think yeah, I think for me, Hop Hop's just on point with this scene, right? Like I don't know, like I feel like everything that Hop Hop does here, like it just really helps to add into like the drama going on here, but there, like I want to say something bad about Andy, but I don't like I feel like I've been negative enough.
not like okay, like Anne, like because Hopov like told Anne a bunch of stuff, and Anne believed him for it, and then now he's like telling her in this moment like that was all just a lie, and like Anne understandably is like getting kind of like upset and fed up with Hop Hop, realizing that
Yeah,
all of
like no,
and I think that like I think the scene is still done well.
yeah, and it works, but then it's just like, and then they just have to drop that joke where she's like, "What are you trying to do? Keep me here forever?" And then she's like, "Oh, that's it, you sicko," and it's like the fuck.
Well, like okay, imagine like
It's
she's under like she's
like,
like like I can that didn't like take me out of it. Like she's like having all of these like different thoughts like running through her head. Like she rightfully is kind of like freaking out about like whether or not Hop Pop's actually like looking out for her or not.
yeah, no, man, I definitely see what you mean. It's just, I don't know, like it just like I maybe hmm. Maybe I'm just used to like other shows just sort of using that sort of line as a joke, but I don't know. Like it just feels like that were I mean I guess you can sort of read that line like seriously like you know what I mean like they weren't doing mean as comedic, but I guess just like for me, I don't it just felt like they were trying to break the tension when it just wasn't needed.
I still felt the tension though, because like even though it's just a joke about her like calling Hop Pop like a freak or a sicko, it's like I mean like this old like this person she's like kind of considered a parent lying about like how to get back to her actual like home. It's like sort of raises that suspicion of like whether or not like he actually does intend on doing that for her. Because like even she
Yeah, it's
mentions like
I mean,
the box is her
yeah.
only way home at this moment, and it's like she trusted it to him, and and he put it he buried it under a tree for like a year and a half, at least for the audience. But
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I totally understand. I mean, well, I mean, as we're going for the scene, honestly, I do have another thing I can complain about. Like, I'm sorry though.
nah, if you want, you can complain about it.
It's just it's when Anne runs away, and then like like did we really need this where she's like, "Don't follow me," and Hobop tries to take another step. She's like, "I mean it. I'm watching you," and it's like, "Come on, bro, come on." Did we need that? Like I was like, did we honest to God need that? Like because when I talk about things breaking the tension for me, that is probably like my prime example in this episode. It's just like, dude, please don't let Hop Hop's misery be a joke. Come on.
Yeah, okay, that I get it. Because like if they did it at least once, it still shows okay, like Hop Hop's like still trying and she's pushing him away. But yeah, like doing it the second and third time, it's like okay, like I get it. Yeah,
I mean,
that
see,
I agree with you.
yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. I guess I feel like I can't be too harsh because I feel like they because it's not that they didn't know what they were doing. Like amphibious writers, like they're fantastic. They're excellent at their job, and I feel like it's just they were trying to like find some good because yeah, this episode it's ending like yeah, really really sad implications right for Hop Hop, and I get the fact they wanted to keep it balanced in between those moments, right, and like. Yeah, I feel like that's why I can never get too mad. Like, I feel like maybe it's just some moments they dip down a little too much into comedy because this is because what that ending reveals about Hop Up just makes his whole endeavor here pointless and sad. So like honestly, I can never get too mad for the choices. Watch me go back to like bitching about something 5 minutes ago. Like right after I just said that, like watch me do that.
Yeah, then it cuts to morning, and Sprig and Polly are immediately going downstairs, excited for the quest, and then just they just see Sprig can immediately like read the room in this moment, just sees Hop like just knows Hop Hop's miserable, and we get to see that close up of Hop Hop. It's like that extreme close up of him with all that like
God, yeah, that's like yeah. Holy shit. Like, I just God, I'm just staring at this face right now. Holy shit, I don't know what to say. Like, it's just so intense.
oh yeah, so like that was yeah, he kind of immediately confesses to the kids about what happened that night.
But yeah, no, I won't lie to you, man. This scene just reminds me of what I love about this family so much. Like, they're just like I feel like they acknowledge someone screwed up, but they're still like making it clear that they're there to support them and stuff. And like, I don't know. Like I don't, I just really love that about Polly and Sprig. Like they instantly told Hop Hop like what he needs to do, and that like that they're still like here to back him and stuff. Like I don't know, man. It was just really sweet.
Yeah, I liked how they like immediately comforted like they immediately gave him the right amount of like support and like what he needed to do next. Yeah, and like just then Hop
Oh,
Up like is immediately like driven to like find Anne. I love how he
yeah.
smashes that mug.
Oh no, plus okay, okay. I also gotta add. I know. I feel like a common complaint I also do see for this episode is are the involvement of Polly and Sprig, but I guess
I
I don't know if it's
completely
unpopular or not, but
disagree
I
about
don't.
those
I think
points.
for me, yeah, yeah. I like the fact that they were able to be here in this episode because I feel like this whole conflict, it involves the entire family, right? And I feel like they definitely had their own place with this, right? Like it couldn't just be between Hop Up and Anne because like when Anne revealed the existence of the Calamity Box to them, like right, it wasn't just like it was just a one-on-one of Hop Up, dude. Like no, like Polly and Sprick were there too. Like it was a big family moment. So I think like the fact that it revolves around the entire Panther family, I think that's fair game.
And like I wouldn't mind if the show like did find a way to like kind of like keep Polly and Spring out of the conflict. Like maybe like this whole thing happened in one night while they were asleep, but I do like how the show like involved because like this was like a family matter. Hop Hop's like once we find out Hop Hop's motivation for all of this is kind of like a family matter, so it kind of made I'm glad the show didn't like write off Polly and Spring in this moment and kind of like kept them involved. But I'll get
Yeah,
into like that a little bit later. But I do
gotcha.
like how Spring and Polly have their own like mission to kind of like help out Hop Hop with this.
Yeah, I mean, it does like, yeah, it does like, that one thing I always talk about, like it does, it splits like the planter family into like, unique groups they don't usually stick with, you know what I mean? Like Ann and Hop Hop, Polly and Sprig, like we usually don't get that.
Yeah, we got a lot more of that in season two with the Spring and Polly stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I like how Spring and Polly immediately do like that spin dash move.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, the combo attacks, like I just love that with the planters.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then yeah, like we go to Hop Hop like following like looking for Anne in the woods and he finds her trail of stuff. I just love how like he puts on like the shades like this. It's the same glasses that Anne put on in Civil Wart when she talks about being an only
Yeah, I
child.
remember. Yeah. And I feel like this would be easy bait for me to complain about, but I'm not gonna like nah. It would be dumb
Wait,
if I complained
how
about
is
this
this
because I
bait,
feel
Nick?
like here they're no,
Not
it's
bait.
not that. I
How
feel
is
like
this?
no, they're just building it. I feel like they're just okay. Maybe I could complain about Anne, but I'm fine with Hop Hop. I feel like give the old man a break. Yeah, I'm fine with him just getting like because it's like he's doing the right thing. Like give him a little break. I'm fine with that. I can tolerate that. Tolerate that. It's just yeah. I guess it's consistently Anne. I feel like I guess Anne's been consistently my problem then. Huh. Yeah, because it's like well, now that I think about it, yeah, it's not really what Hop Hop's doing wrong. It's really just Anne because I feel like yeah, I think just so I can like not like derail every scene. I'll just like to keep it compact. Like I guess my problem is just Anne's side of things. How I do wish we got to explore her feelings more on like no because we did like I think the episode did explore her feelings on being betrayed but I feel like I guess I just wish they were treated with more seriousness right like because it just even in this scene where like let me look at it right now like where she's like what did she do she made herself like what
She
like a replica of
no,
like
it
who
wasn't a
is this
replica. She
oh
went she
Rocky like the fuck
no, she went
like
back to the same cave that she was in for the
yeah
first few weeks or days before she met with the planners, and that rock was also there apparently before then.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So yeah, like she called him Rocky, and like I think like well, like what did she say? Oh no, okay. This is a different thing. Okay, so this is in a different scene. Never mind. Nah. Okay, what I can complain about is a different scene, but like I don't know, man. Like I think it's just these moments where I do wish we just got something more emotional from Anne because I know this is supposed to be an episode where it's like a big reveal about Hop Hop, but I feel like it it wasn't just about why Hop Hop did it, hit the boxes, but it was also about how that was going to affect Anne, and like I just do wish in hindsight we got more stuff of that.
Oh, like Anne reacting to Hop Hop.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, like
like
I
it's
get.
not even that we needed more scenes. It was just like the time they used. I feel like it could have just been like more effective towards that.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because trust me, I'm not one of those people who are like this episode need to be 22 minutes long. Like shut the fuck up. Like whatever something like shut up. Like this did not need like to be 22 minutes. It's fine. It's fine.
Like you and like okay, Nick, you and I we both kind of like we're not gonna we're not gonna be like at each other's throats because we both have the same like agreement where it's like yeah we understand why it's 11 minutes and we both didn't go into this looking for lore.
Yeah.
So like
Like, yeah,
our
we're
conversations much more,
normal, sensible people.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we're
much more civil
normal,
about this than
we're
if it was
free
like the
thinkers.
opposite.
Yeah.
But
Like, you know me. I've always talked about it here, man. Like, Amphibia is very much characters first. It doesn't like the lore. Yeah, Amphibia has interesting lore, but that was really just a backdrop to all its characters, man. Let's be honest here. Like the way they treated it in the final episode just made it just made it all the more obvious what really mattered most to them because like I know I'm going a little off topic, but like they literally like named they're like with the gems, they're like wit, strength, and heart. But that didn't mean jack shit. Like that jack shit, bro. And like I saw people whining about that, but man, I didn't give a shit. I was just like, dude, I don't care. I knew what they were gonna do with the lore. Like it was just I don't know. It was just a useless complaint to me. Like for me personally for me. And I know I'm popping off because this is like technically the last episode. Like this is the last Amphibia episode that's getting like a recording. So I guess I'm like a little unhinged. But like I don't know, man. Like you knew what you were coming into with Amphibia, right? Like you can't like ignore all the characters and world building and start going, hey, why does the show feel so small? Why does the world feel so small? What's going on? Like why does it feel like anything's happening? Like you can't like if you didn't figure out what kind of show this was by the end of the first season, then like I can't help you. Like this show can't help you. Like it's not the show's fault. I'm sorry.
all right, thank you, Nick, for
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
no,
just had
that's
to
fine,
pop
it's
off.
fine.
Sorry about
Like, well, I'm gonna have those moments after like we cover the episode. Like, we cut to Wartwood and like Sprig and Polly enter the town. They see how like there's like a bunch of holes in the ground, like, and like we get that quick joke with Maddie, but the Sprig and Polly are trying to figure out what happened, and then of course the man of the hour,
that. Yes.
Soggy Joe, makes his triumphant return, and
God, I don't know. I think I just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
look, as much as I like Soggy Joe, he couldn't.
Don't you dare!
No,
Don't
no,
you dare say he can be removed! Don't you dare say it!
no, no, no.
No.
Okay, because he's the one explaining like the those crab things, right? And
Yeah.
this is my biggest issue with the episode. Okay, so the magpie beetles, they like they come up every 20 years to grab some stuff to like make their new shell, and then eventually form like a giant kind of like mating ritual called a Lovenado dance. Okay, this is my biggest issue. So like we were wondering what happened to the box, and I did not need the conflict. So if the box was taken and it was leading up to this thing, like I didn't need the magpie beetles and their Lovenado as like the reason for the conflict of this episode. Like if the box was there where Hop Hop left it, and Hop Hop still got into all the same argument, I would have been fine with that. Like that would have been more than enough for me. And then like I didn't need it. And like we got this. And it's like okay, like I liked how Polly and Sprig were involved in the episode, but I didn't need them to be involved like this. I know like this is all just like me at the end of the day. It's just personal preference, but like as much as I liked this episode, I didn't need if the box was being taken for this, I didn't need the box to be taken in the first place to enjoy this episode.
No. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I can totally understand your point there because it does. Like I think my guess for what they're thinking because I'm trying to think like right in this case, and I guess like they were trying to find some kind of like proper motive that would like justify Anne running away because it's like because if imagine if the box was still there, right? Like the box wasn't taken away. Like imagine if Hopper just revealed that he buried the box and he hasn't actually done any research with it. Like, would that be enough for Anne to like storm off into the woods at night? Like, would that like it just makes you think like because I feel like potentially maybe, but I guess they were trying to go for something like more concrete. I guess, right? Like, I think that's just my guess here.
Like I would still think like if Hop Up after lying to Anne and she felt the need to like kind of like get some distance from him, like I still would have been. Actually, I'll never know because it didn't happen. But like I would think I would think that's enough. Like Anne just needed some distance from Hop Hop.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can totally. Yeah, I feel like yeah, I think I do agree with that. I feel like they could have like yeah, I feel like they could have believably sold it. You know, I mean, like and like just just wanting to walk off from wanting to walk away from wanting to get away from like I can totally see that.
Yeah, that's just my thoughts on like the magpie beetle thing.
I mean, it's like no, it's definitely valid because it does just make you question just like why like
Yeah,
just like why
like
and it's like this. Oh, go ahead.
we'll never know, but like I want to believe that it's like they needed this kind of like monster of the week kind of thing.
Yeah, like it's just
Well,
because
I
I'm
guess
trying to like create a.
I'm sorry, Nick. I'm going
Like, go
backward
ahead.
a little bit. But sorry. Finish your thought first.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was gonna say like I'm just like still struggling to like come up with like a solid reason for why we needed the Magpie storyline, and I guess like, and I guess just like besides giving Anne a more concrete reason to run away, or somehow giving Polly and Sprague like more screen time this episode, like there's just not another reason.
I just going back a little bit. I just thought it was interesting how Ivy on the Run had Hop Up be like completely absent from that segment, just so he could have like his so he could like take the dramatic spotlight in this one.
Yeah, I never even thought about that.
Like they definitely like held back from like showing him just to like save his like I don't know, just it felt like I could feel Hop Hop's like absence in that episode when it first aired because we
Yeah,
all
just because
knew
of all
he
that
was
hype.
gonna take the
Yeah,
spotlight. Yeah,
yeah. It's, I mean, like this does sound weird, but I feel like yeah, because we were all just really hyped for After Rain, so like part of watching that new episode was waiting for Ivy on the run to end. Like I hate to say that, but like I feel like that was my move when I first watched it because I was like, holy shit, bro, I gotta see where this plot point's going. I gotta see how it's gonna end. Like we've been waiting for so long. Like I was enjoying that episode, but I was also just waiting for After the Rain.
yeah, definitely. And you know, Paulie and Sprig they rush off back home. They check once they find out that these magpies, these beetles were digging from underground to grab stuff. They go back to the hole where the box was originally buried. They see the little tunnel. Oh, and also like that shot of them running in the rain, and it's just their silhouettes. Yeah, that was part of the season 2B trailer.
Yeah, those trailer shots, man, they live rent free in my head. Like I even thought of I forgot to bring it up in Ivy Run. Yeah, Ivy on the Run had one too, but
Yeah, with
yeah,
Ivy like
no,
jump
see it.
Ivy and Sprig in the trees.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like no, that one cool shot of them running towards the planter farm. That makes their that's why they made this whole subplot just so they can have that one cool shot.
Well, absolutely, yeah. And then you know they go into the tunnels. They get pulled in by the current because it starts to rain, and there's a little like rapid like all the tunnels are filled with water and pulling them. They get caught up into the Love NATO. They spot the
Isn't this like
box.
this?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't this like the second amphibious species we met that were like that their lore was pretty much that they mate or something? Like I swear there was like
Oh,
that,
first
and then
was
like I think
the
the
love
lovebirds. Yeah, the
doves.
lovebirds. Yeah, the love doves. Yeah, like like I don't know what's with the writers, man. Yeah, no, I don't know. I guess they just love that kind of trope.
I mean, I
Yeah, I
guess
think can't you also spot and shoe
you can spell a lot of
in
stuff,
one?
like Anne's other shoe,
Yeah,
Loggle statue.
yeah.
There's a bunch of little callbacks. But eventually they find the box. But then Sprig tries grabbing it. He gets caught up in the Levenado. Polly eventually gets overrun. And then that's when they cut back to Anne. And oh yeah, Sprig uses his goggles here. One of the few like rare moments. But
Oh
yeah,
shit, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he doesn't do it. I feel like yeah, he's done it probably a couple times here and there, but yeah, not a lot.
yeah, and then like it cuts back to Anne, and this is where she kind of talks about like how Hop Up like was lying to her the whole time, and she's braiding Rocky's hair, but
God, I can't believe that rock that rock really there the whole time since episode one.
like no, you couldn't see like they just kind of established that it was there, but you couldn't see it in it was Flood, Sweat, and Tears when they had Anne kind of reference the cave she was in, but you never saw that rock.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
And that's when Hop Up shows up, and I love that shot of the lightning and his eyes are glowing in the dark, and
Yeah,
that
it's
just like
pretty great.
freaks Anne out momentarily before like it's him like stepping into the cave. And I hate how much I like Anne kind of just like how dismissive she is of Hop Hop.
Yeah, that's really done well here. Like, yeah, like yeah, I can't diss the scene for this. Like, yeah, that it is. Oh no, man, I sorry, I keep jumping from Anne to Hoppa, but I don't know, man. Yeah, Hoppa was a real highlight of this episode, but yeah, I think they do good. They do a good job of just having Anne just
Yeah, she just tells him to
completely
go
done with this
away.
old man not wanting to talk. Yeah, yeah, literally, she just tells him to get out of here. Like she's like, I don't want to talk to you, old man. Like, damn, like that's cold, bro. So he just goes, oh, oof, it's you. Go away. Like, damn.
Yeah, and then when she's like, "Oh, like if that's even your name," and then we get that joke, "Oh, okay, it's your nickname."
No, no, I was gonna bring that up. I wasn't gonna bring that up. No,
Wait, what?
no, I don't like that joke.
Oh
Like, why
shit!
they have to
Sorry,
do
Nick.
it? No. No, I won't complain about it. I mean, you can really guess why I don't like it, so I'm not gonna go over it.
I wasn't gonna go over why I liked it. But just you go ahead.
No, no, no. I feel like I'm just gonna repeat the same point I already made here. Like blah 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 blah. Just keep it emotional. Blah 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 blah.
Oh, about like how like okay, like the comedy is
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, pretty
but
much.
you said you liked that joke.
Well, no, no, I said I didn't.
Oh,
I'm saying I
oh, okay,
didn't.
that's where we're divided then. But
Yeah, yeah, we're divided on that. We're gonna start fighting to the death on that one. But yeah, no. Let me say though. I do like. I just love that. That small build up right there. That's on top. Just he's about to drop the whole troop on her, and then he just gets like I don't know. I think that's great.
yeah, I think Anne gets a little bit she gets a little bit like you can see like she is like ready to listen.
Yeah, I love that too. Right, because it's like I don't know. I think this is. I think it just it's in a way, it opens up like the audience's heart too, because Anne just started off the scene like just like dismissing Hop Hop, not even wanting to listen to him. But like you can tell he's about to talk like deeply from the very bottom of his heart, and like Anne just instantly connects to that, and I honestly, I just love that.
Yeah, I really like how like when he says like the very personal part, like you don't show his they don't show his eyes, they just show like the like everything from like the nose or nostrils down.
Yeah, like, let me see.
Yeah, and then yeah, like you mentioned, Anne immediately kind of like reacts and is ready to like listen, but then they hear Sprig and Polly screaming. You know, that's when they both like immediately like rush off to find them. But in this love NATO, and you know, and like understandably does not trust Hop Hop and just immediately rushes in to kind of save the kids on her own. You know, she slips and like Hop Hop is literally reaching out to her, and she's you know they get into like they have their they put aside their issues to save the kids, and that you know that's when Anne kind of like when Hop Hop suggests that that's when Anne kind of can kind of like get on board with that and you know takes his hand.
Yeah, it's a really great scene. Like, I don't know, I just gotta add, man. I don't know. I know I say this a lot, but I just love the combo attacks his family does.
Oh yeah,
Like Mike, his tongue. I guess Hop Hop doesn't really use his. Yeah, Hop Hop doesn't really use his tongue that much as Sprig. But damn, dude, that's just elastic right there.
yeah, I love the sound of it's like a not like a grappling hook, but like something winding up, and
Yeah.
it sounds like a ratchet, like a ratchet and a ratcheting system where it's like you can hear like the like you can hear him like reeling it back in.
Oh man, it's just awesome.
Yeah, and they do that little like when they're in sync, they're just immediately jumping. They're moving in sync. Oh, I already talked about the grappling thing, but yeah, the way she just like tosses him and then he pulls her back in. Yeah, it's all great stuff. Then eventually,
Oh shit.
oh
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna talk about how like they grab the kids and you know Polly grabs the box.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's just no, it's like the scene of Hop Up just twirling him around. Like, oh man, I feel like I know like I feel like that's just like because I know we always just talk about like I don't know it just feels weird. It finally gets to that moment that we always reference as like Amphibious most cartoony moment where Hop Up just breaks the law of physics. Like I don't know. I always just love revisiting it. Like he just I don't even know how he like what were they trying to I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird what they did. Yeah.
Wasn't this like shot put?
It was what?
Like the sport shot put where like the referee where like Hopper like swings them around and then like and then throws. It's where you it's that sport where you like grab the ball and you like swing it around to like gain momentum and then like toss it how far like as far as you can.
Oh. Okay. No, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually. Yeah. No, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, I looked it up. Yeah, it does look like shot put.
Yeah. No, I just love how excited I'm just breaking Polly art as soon as I get rescued. Like they're not even like reading the mood at all. Oh shoot, I keep jumping ahead. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. Like we already kind of covered. They grab the box. Like Polly grabbed the box and they get swung to safety. And like yeah, like the kids are like they're all safe. The box is back with Anne, and like Anne, like you can see Anne immediately like hugs the box. Like she's not intent on like ever letting go of it, because like understandably, like that's her only way home. And she like for a moment thought she lost this like her only lead.
Yeah, like a huge close call right there.
Yeah, and then like Polly and Springer are like happy, and then like Anne's just immediately ready to like walk out on them.
Yeah, holy yeah, no, Anne was a savage this episode, man. Like she didn't even give a shit. She was like, I'm out. Like, damn.
Yeah, and she's ready to like live with Loggle of all people, and
Would you say? Oh yeah, she fucking said log. I didn't even. She could. Oh, I was going to say like, why not live with walls? I'm like, oh wait, oh yeah. Like,
yeah, and that's when we get this like Pop Pop's like begging Anne to come back, and like she's walking away, and then that's when like he immediately like cuts to the chase and just like brings up Sprig and Polly's parents, and then that's when that's what gets her to stop basically, and yeah, like okay, I guess I'm gonna keep going then. Like we get the backstory about what happened with like the herons that attacked Wartwood, and how Sprig and Paul like Hop Pop wasn't there, like he was like just out he was out of the like out of town, and he was just coming back and seeing all this unfold, and Sprig and Paul like we see the I really like how they animate the story where it's not like they didn't show the like they showed it like some sort of like grim fairy tale like with those illustrations about how like everything in this moment was like kind of like Hop Up like recalling details that he wasn't there for.
yeah, it really did have that feeling to it.
Yeah, and especially with like like it's very simple, but like all like the simplicity of it makes the actual details of the story kind of like more like heartbreaking basically when you find out what happened to their parents, and it's not like they don't tell you what happened, they just show you, and you're just expected to you're expected to understand that they were probably eaten.
Yeah, no, that's just like yeah, usually like my favorite part of the episode, like just seeing of Hop Pop just you know telling her everything that happened, and I don't know, I mean, it just yeah, because I know we've talked about it before on the podcast, but yeah, it just like expertly recontextualizes not just this episode, but just like everything about this man, right? Like you just like you understand why he's so authoritative in past episodes. You understand what sort of made him give up on his acting dreams, right? Just forcing himself to settle down and take care of these kids after such a tragic loss. Like it just I don't know. It just tells you a lot about Hop Pop. And like, oh shoot, I mean, there's like another thing I could go into, but like, but Thomas, if there's anything you want to say, like, quick or
No, no, no. Like, yeah, I was waiting for you to like give you to talk about Hop Up a little bit because like
oh yeah,
it does feel like every Hop Hop had like there's different like I think I've talked to Nick about this. Maybe I haven't said it on the podcast, but there's like different aspects of Hop Hop's character, like as the like his own character, his relationship as a parent, and then his role as a guide for Anne. There's like these are like I consider these like uh different paths or different like yeah, different paths for Hop Pop's character at different moments of the show, and they all kind of like all of this kind of intersects at this episode. Before this, maybe it was like Anne versus Wild and Bizarre Bizarre. Even reunion, I wouldn't say reunion because that was mostly him being kind of like it wasn't him about as a character. It was mostly like him as like a as like an object or point to as an object to fight over between Sasha and Anne. But like this episode kind of like brings all of that together and like informs a lot about his character and how he and like why he does the things he does with the kids. Like like he was talking about how like Sprig and Polly survived because they stayed in the basement in one spot, and that's sort of been his like his approach to like safety with the way like he tells the kids to like stay in the wagon or even with the like even with the joke like the puffy suits where he's like less mobility means like less danger. It's like this is what saved Polly and Sprig in the first place, and he's kind of been that's what he's like stuck to when things got bad. And I can go on more about like some other stuff, but I think I'll save that for later. But they kind of okay. I'm not even sure if I can talk about Spring and Polly's parents yet. Like, there's a lot of to break down, but I guess they when he does mention the parents, like Polly and Sprig immediately kind of
Damn, like the scene has you thinking a lot.
like
So like,
yeah they know they immediately like understand where Hop Pop's coming from, and they kind of like they've had this conversation with him before, or maybe they haven't, but they've probably thought about it from Hop Pop's perspective, or okay, so maybe okay, maybe they're talking about so. What's interesting is that in Hopping Mall, it's kind of like a trickle of information, like where I think it was uh not Corler's Pass, Truck Stop Polly. They showed like the book how it was from like Sprig's mom, or, sorry, Sprig and Polly's mom, and that's when like and Phantoms noticed that, got people talking. Then Hopping Mall, you know, tells us okay. Oh, I think Matt mentioned in like season one, the season one hiatus. Oh, we'll find out what happened to the parents. We see like this background detail, and people thought, okay, maybe that's the answer. Then we get to Hopping Mall, and it's like, oh, like our mother passed away when we were little, and it's like, okay, that's the answer. And then we get to like this episode, it's like, oh, okay, this was the answer.
yeah, it just got worse and worse.
Yeah, it got
Like,
worse.
yeah, yeah. I do just love, yeah, looking back at sort of how they, like, it's not exactly like this traditional build up, but like I do like how they just sort of like drop it piece by piece here, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger in the season. Like, and yeah, like I do like the I don't know if you brought it up, but yeah, I do like to think that like part of what made Anne stop here, we know, was that conversation she had with Sprig back in Hopping Mall, where like, yeah, right, yeah, I feel like that definitely was probably like running for her head when Hop Up brought that up, because it's like we like we don't really understand like what it is to plant a family until like we just have Hop Up here just like just breaking down like this and just I don't know, like it. Because what Sprig brought up in Hopping Them All was already like such a touching scene, but like what it meant to Hop, it just really completely warped how we saw him as a character, just looking back at everything, right? Like it just put so many things in perspective and just added in like a whole new story from that he was overcoming. And like, yeah, I think that's like just awesome because it's sort of like, and I'm going to a whole nother thing, but it's sort of like, what happened to Anne, right? How there's like a whole story with her about, was it self love, right? And now you have with Hop, there's this whole story about like, I guess like overcoming fear, overcoming grief, overcoming trauma and stuff like that with Hop, and like I don't know, that's just really neat. That's just really neat.
I do think it's interesting how when we got this flashback and it was like told the way it was with like the with the illustrations, and then we had All In, which kind of showed us like okay, Hop Up like didn't like Hop Up was like he came at like exactly the word not too late. Yeah, he basically came too late. But then they still showed scenes of him like fighting back. And like I saw like I know if you've listened to like the All In podcast, I know like Princess Cthulhu kind of talked about how like personally for him like he wasn't a fan of how like or not like he still enjoyed it. He still liked the final product, but just he talked about how like having Hop actually there with the giant herons like and fighting back kind of took away like the feeling of like helplessness that we kind of assumed in After the Rain, and that's a fair like critique. And like personally for me, like I didn't mind having Hop there, like giving it his all after it was too late. Like landing a hit, like he landing a scar on the bird, but like not being able to like take it down. But
You do. I mean, yeah. Not gonna lie, Hop Up just kept on getting dubs in 3B. I mean, God, like they were hitting him like Hop Up fans were just fed well, man. We got fat off 3B. But sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
no worries. Uh, I kind of like how each of the players have like a different reaction, not reaction. They have a different experience with this event. Where how for someone like Polly, she has like no memory. Um, she has no memory of this event happening. So she's kind of like living through this. She was living through it for the first time in All In, where she's like coming to the realization like this is what took away her parents. You have Sprig who doesn't remember as much,
Ooh,
but he
yeah.
remembers like he remembers like enough of it to kind of like he remembers the sound I think, and he doesn't remember his like parents too much either, but he has some memories of it, and
Yeah.
that kind of like that affects him. Like those are kind of like moments, kind of like that he can't really. Maybe it's kind of like a dream to him, like a
Yeah. No,
not
honestly,
dream,
yeah.
sorry,
Thumb.
a nightmare. And then you have Hop
Yeah.
who probably remembers like all of this in like he remembers like all the details of this night happening, like when he was there, and that's like haunting him. So like each of the players like had this like kind of like different
Yeah,
um
like different levels of like
trauma.
trauma. Should we use trauma?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think trauma is
So we
like a fair like a
yeah.
necessary word for this. Like
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No.
even they mentioned it in All In like
Oh
and
yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. True. Honestly, I mean, I just love that after like. No, I'll bring that up to you later. But no, I just yeah, no, I just yeah. I just really love your points there because, like, yeah, I was about to say, like, oh, yeah, I do wish we got to sort of see Polly's side of things, but yeah, we got to see that in all in. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just really interesting to think about how this incident just affects both Sprig and Hop Hop, where, like, Hop Hop sort of, like, I don't want to say he doesn't close his heart, but it's like, he definitely gets it definitely affects him in a way that just makes him less like ambitious and like open to other people in a way. And I feel like, and I like what it does, but like what it does is Sprig though. Like, I mean, it's never directly said, but like I don't know, it does make Sprig like value his relationships a lot more with people, and like while it does get him in trouble, it also does make him like a god on relationship advice, dude. Because like we have episodes like Sprig's birthday where he educates Anne. Like let's be honest, she's not even just like what supposed to be like 2 years older than him. No, no, she's supposed to be like technically 5 years older than him, right? She's ready to be a 16-year-old girl, and this kid, this adolescent, he's educating this teenage girl on friendship, man. And I think that just goes to show just how much he's learned to value the time you have with people before they're just snatched away from you. Because I know that's kind of like just life, and like I don't know, like I that's something I just really appreciated Amphibia doing for Sprig. But, oh yeah, shoot. Okay, let me bring this thing up too. And like, I don't know. I think I just love not only what Leaf does for Andrews, but also just what her story means for the Planters too. Because with the Heron story, yeah, I mean they went for like a tragic loss, like a horrifying thing, right? Like they have like they've been damaged themselves in a way, but like they never did let that stop them from growing, from changing, from meeting new people like Anne, right? And like Anne herself, I mean, she's gone through she has like two really shitty relationships, right? With Marcy and Sasha, but like, she didn't let that stop her from like getting to know the Planters, right? And like, I don't know, I just love the fact that this is a family born out of people who could very reasonably just say fuck, fuck you to making new connections and stuff, but they never let that stop them, right? And like I don't know, in a way it just feels like what Leaf founded the whole Planter family on never died. Even so her quest to like stop like the Core's ambition, even so that got faulty. Just just like the whole lesson she founded the whole family on, that never died. And honestly, I just found that beautiful, and I do wish I was just brought up more because that's just some of the beautiful stuff I just love thinking about with the Planters.
Oh, thank you, Nick. Like I do want to talk about I do want to talk about Leaf. I'll probably save my thoughts on her for later. Like because yeah, I do want to talk about that too. Um, but yeah, like the planners like did take in they took Anne in as a member of her family, and Hop Hop like knew this too, but like he kind of like it seemed like he was like too far. He already buried the box, and like we saw throughout like the show, like he was like constantly like conflicted about what he was doing because of like how close he got with Anne, and like even by like Bizarre, like she was already like considered a member of the family, and like Hop Up still felt like he was going behind her back, but like still went through it anyways with burying the box. And like, we see him like here after he tells his story, he's just breaking down into tears, like about like how Anne's like a member of the family now, and like how he's let everyone down. It's like like Hop Pop, like Bill Farmer really like carries like the scene, like this
Yeah,
episode. Like when I first watched it,
yeah,
yeah, like I think I said like Bill Farmer like carried the segment.
yeah. I mean,
Like he like
nah. I mean,
the cop up was like carried this episode so hard. Like in the next episode, you couldn't even walk by the end. like,
oh, holy shit. Yeah. Oh, man. Like Bill Farmer just yeah, I feel like I just like the fact that Bill Farmer always like anytime someone like asks him, if there's like a favorite scene that he had, yeah, if he had like a favorite scene that he recorded, and like the fact that he always refers back to this scene, like it's very telling, man. Like this is just like I don't want to say it's Hop Pop's best scene on the show because I feel like there's other top contenders, but yeah, this is just absolutely. I feel like at that point in time, like that was absolutely his number one scene.
Oh yeah, like without a doubt. And Anne immediately Anne, that's when Anne completely like turns around and forgives Hop Pop, and then Spring and Polly they go in for the group hug, and Polly just tackles them. But like this moment where Anne forgives Hop Pop and they go into the group hug and they get out of the rain. That's when I felt like, okay, this was a little like when I was first watching segment, I was thinking, okay, this is a little too quick for me. But then, of course, the first temple comes in and is like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right, it was too quick. That's because it wasn't. And like that in the moment, it's like, okay, that was like I don't want to. I thought it was rushed, and then next week it's like the episode's kind of like, oh, you thought it was rushed. You're right, it was. That's because like we're gonna address it here that it was rushed, and it's like, oh, okay. Now I can't criticize that.
Yeah, I think like honestly, yeah. I mean, like when because I do feel like I was one of the few people back then who didn't mind that like it got resolved this fast. Because I mean, it's not even anything I can. Yeah, it's not even anything to complain about now because I mean, First Temple just easily like tells you, oh, why they did it like that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just interesting to look back on that look back on that era because like, dude, yeah, that was a crazy week, right? Where like so many people were like trying to call this episode like a 3 out of 10 and shit.
Okay, even after I
Yeah,
watched the episode, I could never like call this a bad episode. Like,
yeah, like yeah, it was definitely yeah, it was definitely not yeah, like yeah, and like shoot, where am I don't even know where I'm going with this. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like back then, I just never had the problem of thinking like, oh yeah, this got resolved too quickly. I feel like to me, I was like, I think I convinced myself thinking that, oh no, this just shows how strong their bonds are, right? Like it shows how far they've come. The fact that they're able to, listen to each other and understand, like, why they do certain things. So I guess, like, that was just like my thought. But I mean, I could totally understand why someone would be afraid. Like, it's
I was afraid.
yeah, yeah. I understand. Yeah, I understand why you're afraid because it's like this is a plot line that Amphibia like invested in for like a very long time, right? And they're finally trying to like reap the rewards of it, and like yeah, it's scary to think that it's just gonna be resolved within one episode. So I can understand that.
Yeah, and then it goes to the morning, and this is when Hop Up shows Anne the book, and we don't get to see any new information within it, but he does mention that it's been in the family as long as he can remember. And I guess is this a good time to talk about the legacy of this book? Like, I think this is where I can talk about Leaf now. Like, if it's all right with you, Nick.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we didn't like the book was important. It's just they never revealed to us. They never revealed it to us like during the segment. But later we find out. Okay, Leaf knew how dangerous the box was. She wrote it, and that that's what influences Hop Hop's decision to bury the box in the first place. So it's like like looking back, it's so much so much of like Amphibia's story like revolves okay, this is just me gushing about Anne versus Wild. Like, I'll try and keep it minimum, but like looking back, when you watch Anne versus Wild and you see Hop Up, look at that book and think about and see how dangerous the box is. When you think about it, that kind of like that starts so much of like so many threads in this series with everything going on with the box, everything going on with Leaf, everything going on with Hop Hop, everything that happened with the herons. It's like everything goes back to that moment. Like everything kind of like starts with that moment of Hop Hop discovering the book, like discovering the box in the book. Like that's like if you follow all of like the different threads of the show, like so much of it goes back to Anne versus the ending of Anne versus Wild, which is crazy. But Nick, you held back
No,
like a little laugh, but
no, no, because I was gonna say like I don't know. I just love how Anne versus Wild. It's like you don't realize how much this episode means to the entire series. Like it's just crazy.
it's the
Because like
quintessential
I feel like
episode. It's the quintessential Amphibia episode, Nick.
yeah. Yeah, because it's just such an easy detail to forget that Anne didn't reveal the Calamity Box to them until that episode, and they didn't. And like no, and Anne was planning on like no, and they were planning on basically kicking Anne out after the mountains fought over, right? She wasn't even gonna like actually live with them for a longer time until that episode. So I don't know. It's just awesome to think about how much it changed about everything.
And it's great to Hop Pop's reveal that he doesn't know anything about the box. Like he doesn't know any of the lore. I think works really well because it's not the start of Hop Pop's character. Like like us discovering Hop Pop's character isn't through the box. So we get to see episodes of Anne. Like Anne doesn't reveal the box in episode one, and Hop Pop we get to see Hop Pop react to it. No, we get to see episodes of Hop Pop just being a character and learning what he's like, and seeing like and getting like a good idea of what his personality is like. And then when Anne finally is comfortable enough revealing the box, that's when we get to see Hop Pop's reaction. But we never question like none of us ever assume like okay, I feel like I want to use Gravity Falls as like not as a comparison, but as like a yeah, actually as a comparison, but not like what's better, what's worse. It's just interesting how like in episode one of Gravity Falls, they we don't really get to know too much about Stan other than he's like a con man, and then like we get a moment with him like kind of like feel like getting like a little sentimental with the kids, letting them choose whatever like they want in the store, and then we get to see like the what's behind the vending machine. Like we get to see him going into the vending machine, and we get this mystery. Oh, like who is Stan? What's he like? Hop Hop, it's kind of like the opposite, where we immediately get to see the type of person Hop Hop is. We get to learn about him. We get to see him as a character, and then we get to see the box, and that like we still have that doubt behind our minds, like what his motivation is or what his agenda is, but like we never like I don't think any of us ever like questioned whether or not like Hop Up was like a villain, like an antagonist or not. Like we always knew who Hop Up really was, even with this kind of like secret in the background. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I totally get what you mean. Because like, yeah, and it really is interesting. Because it did set up like a sort of like, yeah, just like Uncle Stan and Hop Up comparison. It did sort of like a set up like a sort of like expectation for Hop Up where you expected him to have like a huge lore reason for even wanting to keep this box buried. And I know I've brought it up before, but I don't know. I'll always just love that move where it's just him being a scared old man, pretty much, right? Like there isn't like a bigger reason for him to do this besides the fact that he just panicked and he wanted to keep his family safe. And like, and yeah, I don't know, like it's just really nice because it makes him like sort of reevaluate his relationship with Anne and just come to understand, how much she means to him and just express that to her. I don't know, man. Like it sure, like it doesn't do crazy things for the lore, but like for the relationships, the character development, like yeah, it does great things with that.
Yeah, like absolutely. And I said like I was using as a comparison. It's not which one's better, but personally I preferred this. But I still love the Grunkle Stan stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, yeah, but no, both of them are just like master classes in what they set out to achieve. Because Hop Hop, it's a personal story of him overcoming grief, right? And like the Grunkle Stan, that's like God damn it. Like fuck. No, I'm gonna look bad now.
No, no, like
Grunkle
no. With Grunkle
Stan.
Stan, it's about him like willing to do. It's like him putting up this facade and him willing to like risk everything for his family.
Yeah, there you go. And like, no, I mean it's really well done too, because it does make you question everything you know about Grunkle Stan. Like, is he the person we always thought he was? Like, I don't know. It's amazing how they did it.
And then
But
with
yeah,
Hop Hop, it's
not
like
not to get
with Hop Hop, you question everything you did, but you never doubt
yeah.
why.
Ooh,
You always
yeah,
know
yeah,
like he probably
you
did it
never,
for
yeah,
the family. You just didn't know
yeah.
why he wanted to do it for the
You just didn't
family.
know why. Yeah.
And that kind of
So,
I guess continuing the legacy of like Hop Hop's decision, like we get to see the fallout like in the first temple. I think that's been talked about a lot. I think we talked about like that was our for those of you who don't know, like the first temple was like the first recording of like of the podcast, and we talked about it in depth there. We didn't really talk what we didn't talk about then. Okay, this isn't this maybe this wasn't intentional, but I kind of liked how in the first temple, Hop Hop's like riding in Joe Sparrow's talons. The second one, the second temple, he's still distant from the rest of the group, but he's like riding in like that little pocket, the hop pocket. And then like in the third temple, he's like actually like sitting with the rest of the gang, like in that little couch. And maybe that detail wasn't like intentional, but it kind of felt like over time, like Hop Hop was like getting close to the group again, or at least specifically
yeah.
Anne.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see what you mean there. Like, like I don't know, it feels like too much of like a coincidence for Hop Hop this for them to like start bullying Hop Hop with because like the whole quest. Hop Hop almost sabotaged the whole quest, right? And like the person carrying him to that quest is basically bullying the shit out of him. So it's like I don't know, it's too much of a coincidence to like not think that the show is trying to illustrate something to you there. So I mean, I feel like what you're saying is fair game.
Maybe, yeah. And then of course, we got that moment in the beginning of the end where like Anne, like
Ooh,
Sasha Sasha and Anne are having that talk about Marcy, what she did, and then Anne talks about it's not about what she did, but why, and then talking about how like hard forgiveness is, but it being worth it, and her looking back at Hop Hop in that moment, and I'm sorry, I feel like people were kind of too focused on like Sasha and Anne in that moment to kind of like realize how like that was like a direct callback from After the Rain, and even Matt I think mentioned it in an interview with the Geeky Waffle about how like Anne wouldn't like what happened with her and Hop Hop like kind of helped her forgive
yeah,
Sasha.
yeah, man. Like I just love that. Like I don't know. Like it's like it's that and 3A that like literally saved the friendship. And like I just love that. I don't know. It just forces anyone who's like anyone who's like trying to deny the planter importance, they're just forced to swallow the hard pill of the fact that the only reason why Anne can even stand to look at the two of them is because she met the planters. Like that's the like you have to swallow that hard pill, man. Like they're forced to, and they don't like. I don't know. I just love that. But oh wait, shoot, no, I should gush about the moment. Like, dude, like holy shit. I feel like I know Thom, I talked to you about how I was satisfied with the fact that they weren't that it didn't seem like they were gonna cap it off because like this is the sort like when it comes to forgiveness, right? Like there isn't a moment like you know what I mean? Like there isn't a moment where like you can't just have a moment where they do like a nice thing to you and all of a sudden you're like, okay, all my feelings are gone, you know. No, it's like the kind of thing that just goes away after a while. And like I know I was talking to you saying like it was appropriate, right, how they're handling it, but like yeah, this was God, like I didn't even ask for it, but like yeah, this was like a perfect cherry on top for that man. Like I I don't want to say I gave up, but like I just did not expect it. But I God did I love it. Just like that little thumbs up. God, dude, I thumb like just that thumbs up he gave her while she was having a whole speech about forgiveness. Like I just love that so much.
I mean,
Like it's beautiful.
yeah, I remember how much I enjoyed that moment when I talked about it on
Yeah,
the podcast,
like
which
yeah, dude.
uh,
That's what I'm talking about, man.
yeah,
Hop up
I lost my
fans.
composure on that one.
Yeah. Like Hop Up fans got fattened up by 3D. Like it was just like dub after dub after dub, dude. Like it just did not stop. Like, I don't really know what's going like Matt just wanted to feed Hop Up fans in that season for some reason. But yeah, like I just God, like that scene just lived rent free in my head for such a long time. Just that little thumbs up and nod he gave her, just that unbreakable bond of trust she had of Hop Hop. Like my God, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Like, and I guess we
Oh, wait,
can just
let me just bring this up too. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just when you. I feel like God. I feel like there are just so many sort of like unspoken themes of the Planter family and the fandom that like Matt had to spell out for everyone. But like, it's just just that idea of like, and the Planters wouldn't have like changed and become like new and better people if they never just have that chance occurrence of meeting each other. And it's just the fact that like because of what Anne went through with Hop Hop, it saved her friendship. Like it allowed her to be able to just forgive Marcy and Sasha. And I know I already said it, but it's just like they capture that experience so well with this show. Like so even like the smallest things, like the planters never would have went on that journey exploring all of Amphibia if Anne just wasn't with them. Like Hop Up never would have reconnected with Sal and learned that important lesson about change. Like I don't know, Polly never would have been challenged. Yeah, Polly never would have been challenged on her responsibilities and gained more Hop Pop's trust. Like Sprig, God, do I need to go on for Sprig? Come on, we all know with Sprig. Come on, man. Like it's I don't know. There's just so many things that this family would never have gone through if they never met each other like this. And like I don't know. I think that's just something I wish was gone over more when it came to discussing the family. And like I just love it so much. Like so many things they like like damn it, like Hopham never would have been forced to confront his own grief if he didn't have that, right? If he didn't have Anne there. Like it's just damn it, man. I don't know, I just love this show.
I'm glad you got your retrospective thoughts there, because like like once no, because once Hop Hop reveals the book to Anne, and like Hop Hop asks if like the family's like up for the challenge of getting back home, because Anne knows like how dangerous the box can be. Anne is just like, you know, like Anne says like, oh, after today, like this family can do like anything basically. Like this family's ready for anything. And like the episode kind of ends off with them with that, the planner hug. That's definitely going to be the thumbnail of this episode. But I mean, like that's like that's a ending an episode with the planners hugging and talking about how they can do anything. That's the
Yeah, that's good
best way
too.
you can end off an.
That, yeah, that's thumb bait right there. Like that. That's a bait poem right there.
Yeah, that's the bait. That's what gets me hooked every time. Like even when I was not happy with after, not happy. Even when I wanted something else from After the Rain, like still ending off the episode like that left me like, okay, things it'll be okay. Like,
Yeah. It still gave like solid progress. Like even if you weren't like happy with the direction it went in, like it still gave solid progress to the family. So, and I always respect that. But yeah, I don't know. I just I was happy. I was at least happy with that.
oh yeah, definitely. And I guess we can go into final thoughts for this episode. I guess Nick, anything else you want to add on before we?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. It's like despite like my own little nitpicks here and there, I think it's still it's for what it does for the series. I'm fine. Like I'll let my guard down. I'll be cool. I'm gonna call it a great episode. Like this still does a lot of good for this series, and like I'm the type of guy who's like, yeah, I know I understand the flaws of something. I acknowledge them, but like the good here, it just outshines the bad so much for me that I just don't really care anymore. And like, yeah, no, I really do enjoy the good parts of this episode. I love what it does for Hop Hop. I love what it does for the family, and I just love like thinking about Leaf and the themes that just and like the themes of love that just went into this family for her. It just I don't know. It just like a lot of Amphibia episodes, man. It just ages like fine wine.
All right, thank you, Nick. And yeah, I enjoyed this episode when it first aired. Looking back, I love it even more now. Like this episode, I Hop Hop is my favorite planner, so him being in the spotlight was just like, and seeing everything go down, just just made the episode for me, and I loved it. And yeah, I think I covered everything throughout the episode, everything I need to say. Um, I think that's like Nick. You can't see me. I'm leaning back in my chair. I'm in like how would I describe like self reflection mode. It's like that concludes our thoughts on this week's episodes, and this like we've now covered every episode of Amphibia.
My God, yeah.
So like,
Wow.
oh man, like we started with the first temple. We got through season two until while it was airing. Like the rest of season two, the second half of season two. Then during the hiatus, we went back to season one, and around I think it was around like cracking Mrs. Croker. We jumped into season three discussions. Then when that went on hiatus, we went through the remainder of season one, a little bit of season two. Then season three came back. Then we talked about season three, and then we covered the rest of season two, and now we are where we are now. And when I started, like when we started this podcast, it was just like, okay, we wanted to uh it felt like a lot of what the analysis I saw on through the fandom was great. I just felt like it was lacking in certain aspects, and I thought like, okay, let's fill that void. Actually, no. First, the podcast started off as a joke. Basically, like I lost a bet, and then I did the first temple. And
What the?
wait, Nick, do you know the story?
No.
Oh wait, shit.
I
Oh,
don't. No, I don't. Yeah.
basically, our friend Chuck. I don't know if you've heard him on here. Yeah, we had a bet about like inviting more people on to like I had a bet with Chuck. I lost the bet. I underestimated how competent he was, and then I had to start a podcast as a joke for April 1st, and then I had too much fun doing it, and then I wanted to keep doing it, and then the plan kind of evolved. And it's like, okay, let's just talk about the rest of the show, and I thought, okay, if I'm going to continue this, I'm gonna at least want to I at least wanted to cover the entire series because at least when I cover an episode, the the agenda or like the itinerary is the episode itself. That's like your roadmap. And now we covered all of the episodes. So basically, I'm telling you right now, there's a little bit of a roadmap, but there's no roadmap now. Um, uh, so and then like once we got past season two, like second half of season two, we got to season one episodes. Nick, that's when you became more involved. And like I always appreciated season one back when I was like making memes. But so I was like, okay, yeah, season one's fun. And then I like realized that's when I kind of realized the like talking about season one every week, like like opened my eyes. Like
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. Nah.
I maybe I mentioned this before. It's like those season two episodes like were fun to record, but like season one, like I emerged, evolved.
Yeah. 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 Like I know exactly what you mean. Like it just like I don't know. It's just weird how like first time I watched season one, I was like, all right, man, this is a fun start. I want to watch more Amphibia, but I didn't really just I feel like I never truly appreciated how much planning and thought went into season one until like we went onto the podcast trying to like pick apart at these episodes, right? And yeah, that just I feel like it just made me fully aware. But it's funny because like season two and season three introduced so many new things to Amphibia, but like and yet season one it made me feel like I sort of already knew everything I needed to know from the show in a way. Like I just understood how this show likes to do its stuff, if that makes any sense.
And I know even though we kind of recorded certain episodes with different context, I think it kind of worked out pretty well for us because we were talking about season two as it aired, like season 2B with the knowledge of everything before it. And that's when it was kind of like introducing some new stuff. And then during the hiatus, we got to talk about season one, those very early episodes. And then like after like that, we got season three, the first half, and that was very much like I guess it was kind of like a spiritual successor to season one in a way. Those early the first half of season three, and so
Yeah.
then like talking about season one right before we got into season three. Sorry, early season one before early season three. That was like a very big, like it was like we were like trained and ready to like pick up everything
Yeah,
the show was
yeah.
setting up.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Because like, I mean, yeah, that was like, and not to rob your momentum, but yeah, that was like one of what I was talking about before when I was roasting people before. Like, we were already used to like understanding that the show can so progress things even without the characters moving from A to B, right? Just by the characters developing themselves and relationships. Like that's why like I never felt thrown off. Even if there were flaws I can acknowledge, like I just never felt thrown off. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, yeah, it gets better because when season three went on hiatus, we talked about the rest of season one and the rest of season and some of season two, and that kind of helped us for the second half of season three, where we actually got to see characters from the second half of season one return, like stuff like Combat Camp and Children of the Spore.
Yeah, let's
Like
go.
those like
Yeah.
immediately became relevant again after we just finished covering that. Or not just finished. We started going into season two, but at least we I think we ended off with Marcy at the gates before we went back to Escape to Amphibia. But
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh, we also got to see Quarler's Pass before going back to
Let's
3B.
go. Let's go. Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, honestly, it did. Yeah, it would have been awesome to end with the hardest thing, but yeah, dude, like it things did end up line up really well for
No,
us,
it
didn't they?
it gets better too
Yeah.
because after we watched season three, we got to go back to like the second half of not second half, the last bit of a couple of season two episodes where we got to look back at episodes with the context of everything with Andreas and Marcy, and even like after the rain, we got to see everything come together and all in, like everything involving like everything, and then we get to revisit like after the rain, where it kind of like brings Leaf's history, the book, the herons, everything, all that stuff comes together here too. So like I guess whoever's like watching like listening to the podcast, it's gonna be like I hope they watch the entire series before like listening to the podcast, just to like avoid any spoilers, I guess. But I think it was a good setup.
Yeah, I mean, it's just damn. Like no, yeah, this feeling feels wild, but yeah, we really have covered everything, all the episodes. Wow, like it just hits different, it just hits different.
Yeah, it's I mentioned earlier like we have no like there's no like guideline now basically, and if you've been listening to this and if you've listened to any episodes of Wartwood Gazette, like I'm very grateful for that. Like I don't like it's basically like a couple of people talking about the show, like one 22-minute episode for either an hour and a half or like 3.5 hours long. But very grateful for that, and I still want to continue. Like originally, I thought, okay, record all the episodes and then see how it goes. After this, we're going to take a break, maybe a couple of weeks or months. I'll keep people updated about when we want to come back. At the time of recording this, like this is the we're recording on the 16th, but this episode's going to be released on July 30th. Like after this, like we'll probably take a couple of weeks or maybe a month or two off just to figure out like where I how I want to handle the podcast. And also because like I'm kind of busy with like stuff in real life and stuff in my life, but like
Yeah.
that's normal. Like I still want to continue the podcast, but when we do come back, it's definitely not going to be. It's not going to be weekly. It might be like a bi-weekly thing. But
Yeah, we
and
can
the
finally get our
episodes will
Fridays back.
yeah, and then the episodes will be probably like they won't be 2.5 hours long. Maybe they might be like shorter. I mean, we could probably like record like this is me just like thinking about it. Maybe we could record like 2 episodes in one night, and that'll cover us for a month, which would be nice. Oh, and there's definitely okay, and we'll definitely talk about Marcy's journal when it releases. But I'm just letting whoever's listening to this, like this now, you're you know our plan. But I guess there's one more thing before we go on hiatus. Um, I'm trying to be very like careful with how I word this. So I guess if you're already listening, okay, this recording has gone on for like 2 hours and 45 minutes. So if you're listening, if you've been listening this long, okay, I trust you with with these news. But so we are in the so as of today, as of July 16th, we are currently in the process of getting Matt Brawley, creator of Amphibia, on for an interview. You know, he's like we've approached him, he's expressed interest, and we just need to figure out like a day and a time to record, and we have all of our we've been prepping for this for a while. It's like I don't want to say it's happening, but it's gonna happen. I think. I hope. Yeah, actually, yeah, no, it's gonna happen. I need to think positively. Um, like that will come soon after this episode releases, and if you're listening to this, if you've listened this long, I strongly recommend you, keep this knowledge to yourself for now until I make like a public announcement. But like, I mean, hopefully you don't start like don't squeal. uh,
Yeah, put frogs in the comment section if you made it this far.
Wait,
Put frogs
what
there.
should they put in the comment? Just frogs?
Yeah, to put frogs in the comment section if you made it this far.
Okay, yeah. Then we'll know. We'll have this. We'll share this knowledge together. But I think by the time it's the 30th, like this episode's coming out on the 30th. We'll probably make a public announcement by then, or maybe the day after, just so you guys, whoever's listening to this recording, can at least get like a couple of days of like exclusive content, exclusive news. But it's exciting. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I hoped. I always hoped like, oh, this would be a fun way to. And like, okay, as an entertainer, it'd be fun to just be like, oh, we're peaking with this interview and that's it. But I kind of I hope the interview with Matt kind of like opens people's eyes about aspects of the show that aren't really discussed as often. And like that's why I kept the podcast going because like I enjoyed doing it and I enjoyed whoever listened gets to like hear something new about the podcast because like there's a lot of content out there that's good for like getting people into the show, but like there's not a lot of good like analysis for people that already watch the show. Like don't get me wrong, like all the Marcy and Sasha stuff is like great, but I guess for context, like as like myself and Nick, we've been in the fandom for like since the beginning, so we kind of like we watch the same cycles happen over and over again, and being on the podcast kind of like it let us have a chance to kind of like discuss something new or experience something new, which is
Yeah,
which is nice.
honestly, yeah, honestly,
It
yeah.
kept me
That's.
sane.
Oh, sorry. Were you
Oh,
gonna?
I just said it kept me sane.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Like it also just like helped shape what I did with some recordings because I just knew that if I just knew like there I just knew for a fact there were going to be more some topics that interested me more than others just based on like how much they're discussed by the fandom and also just motivated by the fact that like since I know this one thing is already going to be covered heavily because everyone's going to be interested in it, let's give this other thing its shot. Like that's why I'm not going to lie to you. Like I was more excited to talk about Corollary Spats and Toadcatcher. That might be crazy to say, but like it's just
Yeah, because
having something new to
we've
discuss.
seen and heard everything about it. So like talking
Yeah,
about Coral's past was like more entertaining for us.
like just having something new and unique. Like that's just the feeling it gave me. Even so, I've seen the episode like probably 3 times before we recorded for it.
Yeah, and I guess if you're still listening to this, I guess the we like if you've listened to at least like one of our recordings, you kind of know how the questions we intend to ask. Like we're trying our best to make sure like it's new information or it's new insight. When I ask these questions, it's gonna the question all the context and background might feel a little bit like long, but it's kind of to help narrow down the answer we get from Matt, just so it's like a new answer and not something we've heard before. But like we don't want to like interrogate Matt. Like we just want like we're going to like make sure like everything we do is with good intentions and like it's gonna be player focused. By the way, like what did you expect? Like we're gonna talk about each of the planners and then like them as like a as an ensemble as a cast, and then a couple of more questions, kind of like as much new information, as much new insight as possible. That was the main goal going to this, and I'm looking forward to it. Like Nick and I are going to be handling this, and it's going to be interesting. Yeah, and that's all I have for tonight for today. Um, Nick, any do you I've been talking for a while, Nick.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. I just something I wanted to mention. Yeah, I think like one of the biggest motivations for me for going into this interview is just like sort of laying down the facts about the show because it does feel like we go into a whole thing different thing on that, but like I don't know, like I do love the fact that there are so many different ways that people can get hooked onto Amphibia, but I think like a big motivation for being on the podcast was just talking about like sort of like that main stuff that Matt's trying to get across to the show that doesn't get discussed too much, and like what I really like about being on that about getting the chance to talk with Matt is just being able to discuss that main stuff. You know what I mean? Like that juicy big details that he wants people to appreciate that just don't get discussed too much. And yeah, like that's just what I'm really looking forward to with it.
and maybe it's not discussed because everyone already knows the lesson, but sometimes you kind of want, maybe, like, hopefully we're doing our best between like getting new information and validation, basically.
Yeah. Like,
And
yeah.
we spend a couple of like weeks like trying to make sure we have that balance, but I'm happy with what we have so far, and hopefully we get enough time to get through it. But yeah, this interview that we're playing, like, it does have structure. We did try planning out like how we start, how we end, and if you guys saw, like, I clipped a couple of season one episode analysis together as like a short 10-minute clip that was mostly just to at least like, I mean, we don't have a lot of subscribers or views, so we at least wanted to show someone like Matt, like, okay, like this is what we're about, just so like, just to show like we're like somewhat like credible. We're not just gonna like get him on and just like torment him. Like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. It's
Yeah, we weren't about to tell them that we've only seen like 2 episodes or something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because yeah, I think that's just another one of like my motivations here because it's like I do love a lot of the interviews that Matt goes through, but like it's just I think yeah, it, okay, maybe cut this part out. Does that sound controversial?
nah,
But
nah, no,
like,
it's not
it's just
controversial. It's just like
yeah,
we we, we know what the
it's
show's
just
about, so we're not gonna like,
yeah,
we're not gonna waste time like, well, why is the show about frogs? Like,
yeah, like yeah, exactly, yeah. It's something fresh, it's something new. It's people who know a lot about the show and can just have like a long, lengthy, enjoyable and yeah, enjoyable to listen to conversation about Amphibia. Like that's honestly that's what I really want to provide to like the audience like you guys. Like to the 20 probably 20 to 30 consistent listeners.
yes,
But hey, I still appreciate the fact that you guys are here.
yeah, I do too as well, like very much. And I think that concludes our recording. And thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Say goodbye, Nick.
See you guys. Thanks for listening.
See you guys.